What up, what up? Let me see, get this all set up right so I can chill. Chill status. Alright, so let's see. What should we talk about today? The Dreaming 101. So, the dreaming. In a lot of my videos, I'm always talking about how there's the matrix, there's the simulation, and then there's the dreaming. A lot of my videos, I talk about that. The matrix is the thing that's set up for us when we're little. We kind of enter into that. It's the womb space. We don't know what anything is, so our minds are shaped for us. Not exactly in the best ways. And it's being done wrongly. That's why they say that serpents lie to us. Because people that are living in their survival brain, constantly thinking inside their survival mind, they don't really have their higher mind active for them to sit there and think about the dreaming. Meanwhile, little kids live within the dreaming constantly. So, the key is getting back into the dreaming. A lot of us fell out of the dreaming. In order to get back into the dreaming, you have to remember the way you came here. And it's really hard. Like, do you remember when you learned to tie your shoes? How hard it was? I remember me sitting there and I would tie the knot and pull it tight and be like, all right, it's done. I get up and move, and then all of a sudden my mom's like, your shoe's not tied. And I'm like, what do you mean my shoe's not tied? And I look down and my shoe wasn't tied. So there's a lot of benchmarks inside of our development that we take for granted now. These different moments you can go back to kind of in your childlike mind. Now, inside of doing this, though, you'll start to remember things that may have happened. And this is where people start to tap into their hidden traumas inside their shadow work as they're sitting down doing their meditation. That stuff will start to surface back up again. So what you're trying to do is go through that memory field of all the things that you've done before and recollect the pieces of yourself and be aware for it and stay present. The easiest way, though, to really interact with the dreaming is to notice what you spend most of your time doing. A lot of people talk about we have ADHD. Well, no, you're up here in the air and you're constantly bouncing around from thought to thought. You're not really tracing your thoughts and staying aware of your own presence within your thinking processes. You'll sit there and be like, how do I make this some money to come up with this bill? And then you start applying your dreaming skills to see how you can make a pathway to something else. You have to learn to take that same dreaming and then look at all the things you're learning online. A lot of us are looking at different spiritual videos. We're looking at quantum physics. We're trying to understand the world that we live in and what this is originally. Like, how this all works. How does consciousness give rise to all these things around us? Because of the dreaming. It starts off as a dream. There's a story inside of yoga that I learned from Sadhguru. He was like, a yogi was walking one day, and this yogi went and he sat down underneath a tree, and he was like, man, I'm really hungry. I wish I had some food. And then food appeared. And he was like, oh man, I'm really thirsty. I wish I had some drinks. And then drinks appeared, and he's like, he ate, he drank. And the human mind, once we satisfy our basic needs, other animals, they go lay down and take a nap. Humans, no. All of a sudden, your basic needs satisfied, and your mind opens up to all these other potentials. So, as he's sitting there, and he's like, there's some really good service here. There must be ghosts. Ghost appeared. Oh no, we see something foreign that we're not used to, something weird, and the first thing we do is respond with shock and fear. Because that's a conditioned response to us. We've always, like, you fall down and hit your head on the ground, you're a baby. You look up to your parents and they're like, oh no. They have like an oh no face on them. And so your first thing is you're getting like this to be afraid. Like, oh no, I just got hurt. Something weird happened. It's a sudden change in my environment. Fear. Respond with fear. You got to learn to break that conditioning. He says, there must be ghosts. Ghosts appeared. Oh no, there's ghosts. They're going to torture me because of the fear aspect. And then they torture him. Oh no, they're going to kill me. And so he dies. And that's how life goes inside of a dream. If you don't control your mind, whatever you're putting forth your thing into, whatever you're seeing, is going to happen to you. And as you can tell, if everyone was like that, little kids are like, I'm stupid, they would be destroying themselves the whole time. You're not able to sit here long enough for your awareness to come together, for you to have a real consciousness of yourself and your own being, of who you are, from the individuation from what we all once were. Because the whole point of creation isn't so that the creator can know himself. Dude's been there the whole time. He's been in the darkness. He's seen how everything came and unfold. It's to find other people to share infinity with. But you have to be built properly, and you have to work your way into it by understanding what it is. So you grew up, you went to school, you have your mind conditioned. They cut down all your extra thoughts and tell you all the things that aren't possible, and they give you a basic matrix. This is the matrix that you live in. And you go to work. It's inside like most of us feel this. We sit there at some point in time in our teenagers, at least I hope we do, because I know I sure as hell did. I was sitting there and I was like, so wait. I go to school for 8 hours a day, right? I sit here and listen to these people talk and tell me stuff. Okay, whatever. But I'm going to grow up and get older, and I got to go to college so that I can fucking, like, I don't know how long that is. I didn't look into it. 4 hours a day, go figure. But, like, I want to go to college so that I can sit here and learn this stuff. But then I'm going to get a job so that I can work 8 hours a day like I went to school for and put something into the society. But I don't even want... They don't have powers. They're not doing anything cool. This is all fucking lame. I was like a teenager sitting there like, I don't want to be like that. That's fucking boring as shit. I don't want that life. Who wants that life? None of us want that life. But slowly, as we got out of school and we fell out of our dreaming, we still had dreams and goals of ourselves. You kind of fall out and you become a cog in the machine, and your dreams start to align more with like the dreams of what men would want. And by men, I mean like, oh, the house, the car, the power, the this, the that, the this, the that. When we were younger, we're sitting here out in the backyard and we're just trying to fly. Everyone tried to fly. We're like, ugh, why can't I fly? We're all trying to fly. So, glad you're on live. I was just thinking about your TikTok videos. What's up? Hello. But yeah, we were all trying to fly. We were all trying to do things, bigger things than what we're doing right now. And now like, we sit here and we're like, well, I don't know what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Well, you have to unlock your dreaming. So, whenever we used to sit back and we used to like daydream about, like I daydream about girls, listening to music and be like, how am I going to ask her out? Trying to think of the perfect scenario, the perfect everything. Like, got to figure this out. At the same time, when I wasn't thinking about that, I would go into the woods and I'd be running around and like training and hitting trees because, you know, like that's what you do when you're broke. You go into the woods, you hit trees, you find stuff to climb up on, do pull-ups, pick up stuff, move things around, you move your body, and you kind of have like a natural workout in the woods just by doing things. Why? Because whatever, you're training. And so while I was training and I was sitting down, I'd meditate and think about like, all right, so what if I had air powers? How would I manipulate that air power? What's good? What's up? Everything's good. I got my Witcher potion with me right now. So, sitting around having me a drinky drink, and saying hello. But the dreaming inside of that, you have to realize that that's where it all came from. Oh, this is my Witcher drink. This ain't no drinky drink. It's a magical potion. Ahoy. The dreaming aspects, like, so I'm doing the whole series on formatting the brain and what that process is like. And it's really hard to explain it because it's like all these different dreams that you've had, all these different places you've been within yourself, all these different scenes you've seen are all colliding together at once. It's it's the concept of the egregore, Egregore. It's the watchers. So within us, there's a lot of times when we sit back and we witness something that's wrong, and we have no power to do anything but sit there and watch. But our awareness is like taking note of that, and from those moments that we hold inside of us are like key things, and we have to go back and make decisions on what we would actually do, how we should have acted if we were stronger from the moments whenever we were weak. And inside of that, by deciding how you would act, whether it would be you didn't do nothing at that point in time, the last time that you came across that situation. You didn't have any experience. You didn't know what you stand for. You have to have events and experiences happen to you for you to come to know what you stand for. And inside of learning what you stand for, you know what you won't fall for. So there's certain moments in life that you come to a cusp moment where it's either you go all in and act or you stop. Like for me, one day inside high school, I was walking to my computer class to do some typing, whatever. Like I was in school, y'all. I would made really good grades, but I wasn't in school. I was like, I had my magic notebook, my grimoire. I'm sitting there trying to like study up on this energy stuff and figure out how all this stuff is gonna go on. I wasn't at school. I was there, but it's just passing time. But there was a day that a dude walking around the hallway had a beard, like a full beard, and I'm like, he don't belong here. Something ain't right. I go into my classroom. All of a sudden, I heard a girl screaming from the bathroom, "Help!" Me being me and trying to be incognito with my studies, I'm sitting all the way in the back of the class. So I get up and I take off to the front of the door, and my teacher was there and he got there before me and stopped me. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm about to fight this old dude so I can get there because there's a girl screaming help. The only reason why I didn't push this old guy out of the way is because I seen my favorite English teacher running by and I trusted her to take care of the job. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight. Don't fight this old dude. Get my ass in trouble. They already had people coming there. So from that point and moment, though, it took me a while because like was I a coward? I could have just pushed him out of the way and went there and beat that dude to dirt. I'd been training all this damn time. I was ready. I heard he had a knife to the girl's face. I would have ran there. He might have stabbed me, but I would have put his face into the fucking toilet and just. I was like, I'm all in. I have rage. That's why I'm so kind. I keep myself to where I'm like, yo, like, I'm not trying to do anything. Because once you snap and once you go, when I make a decision to act, there's no going back for my actions. And the original reason to me for why we were fighting is to, like, take another person out. It wasn't like to be like, oh, sparring. So I'll spar now. But if I'm actually going all in and I'm responding, then yeah. What do you think the mark of the beast is? It's your pineal gland being closed. So, alright. I make this stuff. There's a video on my Priest of Ashes page on YouTube, right? I put it out there like Galactic Federation, Kalki Avatar's here. Because like 40 days and going through the waters of everything that is inside the dreaming, I'm just like, alright guys, apparently I woke up, I'm some type of dude. Don't know what I am. I'm a dude. We're going to get this stuff figured out. From the pineal gland, you know how people, they were taking that test and they were sticking up people's noses and just going back there and puncturing a spot? Well, your pineal sits back up here and the pituitary is inside of here. And like they both secrete a fluid down to what's called the salica turcica inside your skull. And this lets amrita drip down. It tastes like milk and honey. So I have a taste of like milk and honey that comes up my mouth at random, and it's really sweet. So sometimes it gets too sweet, but at the same time it started off bitter, like a metal in my mouth. It was like I was tasting metal. Well, this stuff that is producing is also DMT. DMT, the melatonin that you save inside your body. Yeah, adrenochrome. Your body starts producing that too. But you end up sitting here and you're saving the melatonin. You're not secreting anything. during this time frame, you practice abstinence, and you just like kind of like don't touch yourself, and you allow for the melatonin to build up inside your system, so that it comes to such a level that it washes back around the pineal gland, and that starts to produce DMT. Now the DMT, once it finally breaks through, you start producing it in copious amounts, and you're going into the DMT world while you're still wide awake. It's not like when you see people sitting there and they're like, oh, I smoke the DMT and I'm gone for 15 minutes. No, you have activated your death process. Your body makes DMT when you're born, and you make DMT whenever you die, and also in deep states of meditation. Yes, you're getting some of it, but you're not getting the full thing. Whenever the actual drip starts coming down, you're entering into the dreaming. You can't back out now. This is where people go crazy, because anything can happen in a dream. And if you don't learn to control your mind and the probability aspects of it, you're going to start feeding into some stuff. And the way you use your energy inside that state where it's all liminal and dream energy, whatever you put your mind to, you're going to start manifesting that instantly. And if you go into a dark space in yourself, then you go down. If you want if you want to go ahead and sit here and craziest stuff, bro. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to Kroger's, and I was sitting there like all the way in the dreaming, and I straight up like bought some stuff, put my card in, and was like, remember that show Heroes, where that little kid could like hack machines and stuff? I'm like, how did he do that? If I'm in a quantum state and this is all one big dream simulation, I mean, and I went like that and like put my will there because I'm already in the dreaming, and seeing like numbers moving around, and I was like, all right, and we're gonna do red here, and like hack the stuff, and like the receipt came back and it was like $0, and I was like, hell yeah, like I got this for free. And then I immediately inside one of my group chats had a message pop up that said no stealing, and I'm like, how the fuck did people, what? This doesn't make no damn sense. They were talking about something else completely, but it just happened to be that at that moment I picked my phone up and looked at it when it buzzed in my pocket. And I was like, sorry, I wasn't trying to take the stuff for free. I was just seeing if I could hack the system. I'm like, I won't do that again. I don't want that power. That's not a cool power. I mean, it's cool, but it's not you like being dead. Is it true that you're known as a joke assassin? Yes, it is true. I am known as a joke assassin. Yeah, you ping. So the mark of the beast is the pineal gland being closed, because the pineal gland is shaped like an egg or a seed of corn, essentially. And like on the inside is patterned like a pine cone. A pine cone looks like a dragon's egg. So the beast within you, you have to burn the beast within you. The fast, your fats, FATS, are burned in the fast, and it makes you go faster, because now you're not taking in all that extra food, and you're speeding up the whole system. All that extra energy that's used for digesting is now used to power up your brain fully, and this puts you into overdrive. And that heat, that extra fire in your brain, the burning bush, causes you to end up having the pineal gland start vibrating quicker, and that vibration is heat. You're heating up the dragon egg, which causes it to pop open and hatch. And then the DMT starts to active and your dragon aspects come out. Your full system is integrated, and now you have to deal with your id, like all your stuff. Everything is all of a sudden. So you have to be able to sit there and control your dragon self. And for that, you go inside yourself and you fight your demons and stuff like that. You come to know yourself and how to control your darkness. You know why you apply it, because it has a reason for it. So yeah, the daydream. So once you learn how to do all that, you're showing your character. Your whole lifetime, you've been building a character within the dreaming inside yourself. You don't necessarily look like you do outside yourself. The Anunnaki are known to be more beautiful than normal men, because they're dream beings. So you can literally dream your body. You can look the way you want to look. It's like, all right, a lot of people normal people, they're attracted to people because of the way they look, right? Magneto could get with Mystique. Mystique could be, yep, Yoshi's back in the day when Cosmic Space Dad was hoeing around and doing investigation work. It's an old friend on here. Wonderful. Anyways. The dreaming part, it really does tap into everything. Your whole system starts to go into overdrive. And you start going through a formatting process. I was hearing computer tones come out of nowhere. And like that weird, like, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, because your pineal is finally, like, kicking on. And you're entering into this dream space where anything is possible and you're in your body. So now you have to format everything around you. Because you're like, I don't know what nothing is. I was looking at trees, and then in my head, like a video game, I had like the menu pop up and was like, what type of tree is this? I'm like, I have no idea what this tree is. I know it's a tree. That grass, I know it's grass. I don't know what anything is, but I need to format and like, it's like seeing the grid work lay out in front of you in your mind, and you're laying out the space that you're in. So you're flipping from inside out. You're taking all the stuff, and now you're starting to take from what you accumulated, and now you're projecting out into the world and weaving yourself into the dreaming. And it's like that character you've always been inside of yourself is also tearing through like the limits. From the matrix itself, the person you've built is pulling itself outwards now, and you're birthing yourself inside of a different way. And it literally feels like you're being born again. You start seeing all these colors flashing, like the kaleidoscope. Remember little kids were so fascinated with looking at kaleidoscopes? Well, that's because all the colors, we experience that when we're born. It's kind of like everything's flashing and coming online. And like, how did your body come online? How did you wake up here? What would that feel like? We just wake up every day and we go by like our presets. How did you merge with this machine that is your body? Super important. When do the drills start? Is there going to be revenge? Yeah, stuff's going to happen. Like the creator said, Jesus was talking about like the whole wheat and the tares thing, you know? Like, wait till the time is full, and both the harvest will be of wheat and tares. So those who are ready to like go and like do the other things will go at the same time as those who aren't. The creator, there is a creator. The dude is like, it's an actual person. There's a dude there. So he's kind of pissed. He got his own ego. Like how you have an ego, has an ego. It's kind of obvious inside of like all the books. You sit there and you think about it, and it's like, all right, original being sitting back, Wicca. They're like, they worship the goddess and the god. They do acknowledge that there's a being known as the Drigathan, the one, the all, that's like ever there, but he's impersonal. Don't mess with him. He's busy. That's when the creator was figuring himself out. Like I said, has his own ego, trying to figure things out for himself. So we have to figure out things. Level 10. Yeah, it is the Coco Ichiban level 10 master. Actually, I got to level 12, thank you, Kadena. But you get all the way up to memories. It disrupts me. It's been so long since I thought about Coco's. I did learn how to make curry. But damn. What was the question? See how easy it is for my brain to go? Oh yeah, the dude has his own ego. The creator has his own ego. That's actually a thing. It's like playing a game with Merlin. If you're looking around and you're seeing symbols and signs everywhere, well, yeah, that's because the system is interacting with you. And you're picking onto it. It's like the little kid inside you is waking up and you're like, oh, hey, this is actually going on. And people are like, no, Don't believe that. You're crazy. That's crazy talk. Go watch the new Matrix. Neo's sitting there at the psychologist, and he's all the stuff's happening, and next thing you know, he's back there in the office, and he's like, "What?" Yeah, sorry, it's not gonna ruin it for you, but it's like how the system pulls you back in. Your heart wants to believe that there's more, and you have to start walking through those doors within yourself. How do we go past what we know about this life and understand our other lives? It's easy, man. It's like you're L, and you're sitting there in the darkness, and you ask, like, go to a bonfire, a little fire camp, like, Dark Souls, and you're sitting there, and then you just go ahead and be like, who was I last time? Come forward. And let a person step forward from the darkness, because you're inside your temple. And then they'll sit there by the fire, and you can discuss things with them. So it's not as hard as people make it seem. It's just like, then you're having this thing like, am I just talking to myself and making this stuff up? That's what I thought at first. Oh, dude, I was sitting there talking to him. He's like, I'm Merrick Dinatra. Oh, that's a badass name. That's my name again, by the way. But Dinatra, I never went and looked it up. Da is of, and Natra is of a dance or a sage. So it's a whole thing. Like, Merrick means the ruler of the sea of power, of fame and fortune, and then of a dance and a sage. And I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. My partner, her name being Mariah, I go by Pariah Shiva. Well, pariahs inside Hinduism is the lowest form, the lowest of low, like the slum people, but they're also known as the children of God. And the street sweepers in like the movie Underworld, they say Anana falls into the underworld. So as little kids, we're in heaven and we fall outside into the underworld. And we're all looking around like, this world's trash. You're in the underworld, bro. Like, that's what's happening. You're walking around in purgatory in a way. And like, so whenever this place gets too messed up, you end up having people that wake up that are the lowest of the low. They're the street sweepers. And Marines go from house to house, street to street, house to house, and they clean out places. So Space Force popping up at this time is more so one of those, because you come from inner space, the space within you, going all the way back to the beginning and the end from where you came from, which is heaven. The day of the Lord is in darkness, the kingdom of heaven's within, going all the way back to the very beginning and end, and then re-emerging back out. You're technically a part of the Space Force, and you go back past Anu or a Skyfather. It's like a Skyfather check before you go into the simulation. Mother is for the Matrix. That's what Matrix means, is a womb. Fathers, we don't care. We'll kick you off. Like, you're sitting there, you're a little bird. Are you going to fly, little eagle? I don't know. Kick him. He wasn't going to fly. He's old enough. He should fly. Either you're going to fly or you're not going to fly, bro. So that's like the dad kicking you off into the dreaming. And like, he checks you out, makes sure you're good. All your psychological stuff should be working fine. It's going to come down to you and who you are specifically. Boom. And you get kicked off, and you're going to go through a challenge, a series of tests within the dreaming to get back to the creator, make it to the goal, and then return back here, and you unfold from inside out. Like how a seed unfolds, your body unfolded, and the sperm hit an egg, and then it started popping and unfolding back, and more of you popped out to make your body. You unfolded from space-time, from singularity. You were born in the womb that is a singularity. And now you're walking around inside of a space that's known to have like little atoms and stuff like that, which are all singularities. So, the dreaming, that's the topic. So, you've been walking around inside this illusionary dream space where different vibrations and energies are going on. But you're in the dreaming. Like, you're literally living in a dream. But we feel it's real. That's what the ancients tell us. And that's what starts making people go like, it's a dream, it's real. That's why not everyone gets into heaven. Because how do you handle infinity? That's a long time. People are like, what am I going to do in 10 years from now? You have no idea what you can do for 10 years from now. Who are you going to be in 100 years from now? You don't know who you'd be 100 years from now. What if you live for 1,000 years? And all that knowledge. What if you live for 10,000 years? But how would you deal with the burden of the time? So it's a whole thing. People are like, oh, we're gonna go to heaven, we're gonna party. Most of y'all go to family reunions, you don't even want to be there. You can be there for like 2 days maximum, and you be around your family. Everyone's like, I'm gonna go play with grandma. You know you hate grandma. Grandma was talking all that shit about you when you got older. Or some of you all have good memories. It all depends on the family, but not everyone's like, I'm gonna go up there and be with my family. No, so what would you do? How would you pass time? So he made a game. How do you pass infinity? Make a game. Play a game, learn stuff, build stats, sit up here and purposely practice things and actually become good at something. Like, you know how the gods have aspects, like the god of medicine, the god of archery. That's because that's the stuff that they were studying because they were passionate about it and they weren't really like working. And so as they discovered new medicines and stuff that would help people, they were releasing the stuff and like being like, oh yeah, this is how this works. This is how this works. And all of us, if we all like worked like that, like from our passions within ourselves and actually doing the damn thing and just like, here, this is what we need to do. Everyone adding their stuff to their pot, you know, their knowledge space, you would end up having everything work out the way it needs to. But people ain't sharing. Caring and sharing, it can be fun. And for some reason, people share all the wrong stuff. I don't know. It's weird. Awesome question is how to help the next generation of young kids. Waking up to BS. You know, doesn't matter. Wake up. Like, yeah, it's hard to wake up and you're coming here and you're like, oh man, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm going to go to work all the time? Bro, you have a quantum computer mind. Your mind is an AI. You fight your mind, but you can sit here and use your mind and be like, think of definitions. Read a word, think of a definition. You can daydream it being up here above you, see the letters and how it's spelled. That's how we used to learn. We would sit there and think about the letter and how it's spelled in the darkness and add it to our memory banks. You think about the definition of the word on the side of it. You'd be like, arrow, something you load into a bow, sharp pointy projectile. You know, you can have your own definitions for things or generalizations. And often whenever we sit here and you're using your ADHD brain, that brain's jumping around back to forth, left to right, going all over the place, but you're using correlations, like how we learned when we were little kids, red, apple, fire truck, ball, sheets, like, so your brain starts going through different memories you've collected, and is putting together things to weave and searching for cross-referencing materials and trying to bring sense from what seems like chaos within the dreaming and looking for a deeper hint. It's like you're playing a game, but you don't know what you're playing. You have all this useless information inside your head. You just don't see the way that it strings together. And like, so by dreaming and all of us like learning to use our ability to dream, we're supposed to sit here. We're all technically like jinn, because the creator made a copy of itself and like drained it of information, and like, so you have every potentiality within you, and all you're doing is going around making actions and literally filling out your character sheet. You got to do things to define your character. If you don't do nothing, you don't get defined. Pretty simple, common sense logic stuff. So I'm a dude doing things, going around. I'm just being me the whole damn time, being like, whatever. Sometimes I hear some stupid stuff go on. You know, they make that face where you look off to the side. There's no one there, but you're looking off to the side, looking at the 5-dimensional beings beyond the wall. And you're like, y'all see this? Y'all see this shit? America. Y'all see this shit? What the fuck is this? That ain't make no goddamn sense. And then you go ahead and look back into the whole thing. You're like, yep. So that's the stuff. Like, you know, it's, you have to learn how to interact with yourself as if you are inside of a movie or you're in a cosmic play and you defined your character and you're going doing things. How do you keep your hope alive? Like, this all runs off of hope. We hope to find another person that understands us. The creator hopes to find people that gets him. You know, like, I was alone in a dark place, so I made all of this stuff. But when you know how everything is made and you can have anything, what does anything mean? doesn't mean anything. It's all just things for people who want material stuff. It's cool stuff. But once you get down to the deeper stuff, what is it that really matters? And that's the stuff that you keep in your heart, your memories, your emotions, the things that matter. And matter is mass, it carries weight. And so you start to accumulate more matter, more energy, and that goes up to the pineal gland. What's your opinion on inner monologue? Would you say that's ego or self? Ego, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a both-ish things. Your ego will pop up and be like, you know what? I really should go off and go do all this other stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm fucking around with this one thing. But yourself, the part of you that, like, is there. You're like, I love this person. This is the person I love. I remember this person for a long time. I remember lifetimes where I would sit there with my partner, with Mariah. And, like, there's times whenever she couldn't move very well. There's times whenever she locks herself away inside a library and she studies for like months on end. And so I go down to the town and buy like food and stuff. And everyone knew that like I had a partner, but you never saw her. And so they're like, oh, he's some type of monster keeping her up there inside of his tower. And it's like, yeah. So that self, coming from that memory of self, that deeper knowing of, within me, and then my ego and me sitting here on the outside and being like, all this stuff is stupid. Like, why am I going through this? Like, she got hit by a nuke. Like, okay, I'm just pointing out all these coincidences, that type of stuff. I'm pointing out coincidences. Why am I going through this? So it's kind of like an inner play between your light and your shadow. Inner dialogue is. And inside that interplay, you're writing a story because 1D comes from the words that we speak. Like a lot of the stuff we read in the characters in books is the words they speak and their thoughts that they're thinking. So you're actively writing that stuff down as you're truly being you and having an experience and making decisions on what you're going to do for that situation that you're in. And it kind of builds your storyline. We love good success stories and stuff like that. And so a person will sit there and be telling their story and they're like, I came to this certain point and like I had this thought and this is what I said to myself. So that inner dialogue stuff starts to come back up into like the actual physical manifestation of the world of why you went on that path or why you did things. So, and sometimes like your id gets involved. That dude's wild. What up? Like party like a rock star. When I woke up and I like went through the first phase, like Nagaraja, the bottom brain lights up, mid brain lights up, top brain lights up. Energy is the top, comes back around. Now we're flowing back up. I already have my Pingala active. Now, for my Ida Nadi to turn on, the logical reason side, I'm already super creative. I'm like burning up with creativity. Now the logic kicks in and I'm like, how do I make this shit happen? And so I sit there and I'm like crunching numbers. And like the inner vampire in me kicks in. Cause like I'm sitting there, I'm like, whatever, yo. Like I'm old as fuck. The whole Enki plus Enlil, the two Sumerian gods. Red plus blue, the snake plus the eagle. Add a snake and an eagle together, you get like a feathered serpent. That's the dragon symbolism of the two coming back together. It makes Enkil. Enki means the Lord of Waters. Enlil means the Lord of the Command. Enkil means the Lord of the Waters Command. The King of the Damned is the original name. I was putting back together something ancient, so I'm Enkil, the King of the Damaged. You know, rebrand. Because that's what happens. Certain psychological profiles come back up over again. Red plus blue equals purple, so I was turning on my Pingala and Ida Nadi. My whole system was balancing out as purple, and that will allow me to take on, like, go up the Sushumna, have the energy go up to the top again, come back down and flow through, and that's pulling all. That's like the third rinse. You rinse it out once, it's kind of clean. You rinse it out twice, you're pretty much there. This is like that deep, like the shaking roar that's coming up to clean everything out through the middle spine. And that's where like Enkill, the dragon, your id, your ego, and your super consciousness, all three of them, the three worlds become one. Inside that, your trinity of who you are forges together. Abraham or Brahma is the fiery workman. It's you who you're walking around as every day. When you're sitting there driving your car and stuff like that, like, you can sit there and as soon as you get into your car, your field of vision changes and you open up and see all the roads. You can see the stuff on the other side. Usually you're focusing on like what's right ahead of you. A lot of people don't play with their vision. You can do a thing where you put your thumb right here close to your face, your other thumb right there away from it, and then look off in the distance. Look at this one, look at the next one, look off in the distance. And by doing this, you're working the muscles out in your eye. And you're also noticing how your vision changes. And when you get into your car, your vision opens up and you're looking at the panoramic view of everything. When you're outside the car, your worldview changes. And it's the way that your awareness is actively perceiving your environment at that time. So that's a part of your Brahma. Brahma is the workman that's walking around the earth. Vishnu is the person within you. That's the waters that are vibrating, your spirit essentially. And then Shiva is the person, the awareness that is the dark, the primal awareness. So these three modes, forms, beings, this trinity come together within you. The three become one. And then also you meet the creator at the same time. He's woven in, you weave him into your dream, he weaves you into his dream, and it's like a save thing. And once you get that link, all of a sudden all the other spirits and beings that have been, you get access to all that stuff. The understanding of like, oh, they're just people. They're people that were here before. They're doing things in another realm, in another way, and a different type of existence. But your id, your deepest, darkest part of you, like my id is a dude that will put meat hooks inside people's legs that are doing wrong things and hang them upside down and let them grow into trees. You'd keep them alive and feed them, but let the trees grow around them and just imprison them there inside a tree. And let them stay that way for all eternity. Until you get tired of it and cut them out. My id can do some pretty messed up things. I've experimented and done some pretty horrible things to myself inside myself. Trying to figure out what was wrong with me. Because all of us want to be peaceful and not try to hurt other people naturally. That's how we at least start off and pretend to be. But then you get to a certain point in time where everything becomes a little bit too ridiculous. Like what are people doing nowadays? You see people walk around, some people believe in this, believe in that. You're given an immune system. The science and stuff that you learned as a kid, all that knowledge you have in your brain was valuable for something. And now everything that you were taught, people are it's nothing. It's all just sensationalism that goes on and all that craziness. And then like a person shows up and is like, so guys, yeah, we live in a dream. That's the original teaching. Your science is saying it's a simulation. Well, you have to use your daydreaming to interact with it. You were taught when you were little, there's a cloud above your head. Like we have cloud servers. Get in the cloud. Do some work around in here. Next thing you know, you're meeting mystical people and you're like, am I really meeting these people? And like they don't act the way you'd expect them to act. That's because they're their own person. They go around, they do things, they're just on a different level. They're doing a different doing the formatting process. It's like you could be on that level. You can completely go up there and be the dude that walks around and does all that stuff. Do you really want to at this point in time? I didn't know enough. I ain't about to go walking around and doing all that stuff. Nah. It's just, yeah. Oh shit, the pictures of thinking, clouds above their heads and cartoons. Yep, that's right there. Jesus will meet you in the clouds, the air, the firmament of your mind. The sky is the limit. Well, the sky is a limit because you can't go to outer space. Your body is not built for it. If you cultivated energy and was pulling in chi and exchanging your cells to make an energy body, and then you just activate your inner magnetism, fly up into outer space. You don't need to breathe. You're made of energy. You transferred your body over in the dreaming. From being physical mass to being more of an energy body. And by doing this, you were cultivating, and now you can like punch something and it goes ridiculously far, or you can make fire appear because you have the extra energy that you need to pay the cost to make the action happen. Yeah. We weren't talking about nothing about that. Makes sense. Have to store the body's energy. Your breath, if you're sitting here and being all, oh man, oh, it's shallow breathing, not pulling in all the energy. Prana comes in through your mouth. So you sit here and deep breaths. Breathe slower. If you want a meditation for reaching deeper states of consciousness, breathe slower all the time. Because it's not so much as you're meditating, it's that you become meditative upon all things. And then like you sit back and start noticing what you're doing. Breathe deep, breathe slow. And also like when you take 3 breaths a minute, it starts to fire up the pineal gland. And I think 5 breaths a minute fires up the pituitary. So you hit pituitary first, and then you hit pineal. So you want to go ahead and just keep on slowing down that breath. Oh, sup, John? I ain't talked to you in forever. So you slow down that breath. The average person now breathes about 18 breaths a minute. They breathe so fast. If you sit here, I do like massage and stuff, right? So I'm sitting there massaging a client. I'll be watching the clock. They're not saying nothing. So what I do is I start taking in a breath. And I count how many breaths I'm taking between when the number ticks down for the minute. And so as I'm sitting there doing massages, I'm training myself at the same time. And like lowering my breath rate. And I noticed that because like I keep my room's lights low so it doesn't disturb the client. So I'm learning that as I'm doing this, I start all of a sudden all these juicy colors start popping up everywhere. And I'm like, oh, aura vision. Aura vision is made by like slowing down your breath. You slow down your breath, there you go. You're gonna start turning on aura vision. Sometimes you be sitting there spaced out and just be looking at a tree, and all of a sudden you see the fuzzy lines on the outside of the tree. And you're like, man, what the hell am I seeing shit? You're seeing the aura. It's just normal. It's supposed to happen. We used to see this stuff all the time when we were little kids. Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? I'm pretty sure we were seeing like the colors swirl around. I remember laying in bed at night and looking at the ceiling, and the ceiling was just like a mass of pinks and blues and reds and moving around. And I'm like, that's cool. I was looking at auras. Had no clue that's what it was that I was doing. Just, Oh, Kachari Mudra? Nope. I've been trying. So I taught my friends' kids about Kachari Mudra, man, right? Dude was like 15 at the time. Me being me, I'm going around doing all the reading and I'm not putting in all the practice I need to be putting in. This dude got to where he could do Kachari before me. I did learn, though, like, because the gland's going to make it automatically once you actually have it turned on and you're woven. It's not like you're going to get like a little bit of hit. Like some people that go in, they get little hits of DMT and they're like, oh, I have reached Samadhi. Me, I'm like, I'm in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. I'm always making DMT. And like eventually you're in trip zone, and either as you adjust and like get through that whole process and then bring yourself back down and can live in the dreaming and just be like, yeah, it's a dream. It's kind of wonky to know I live in it. I went through it. I was born again. Either you can get to that or you're going to go crazy. And then the crazy people that run the crazy houses are going to give you their psychomeds, which are to try to modify your mind, which your mind is still trying to stabilize. And that's just going to geek system error. And now you're back in the matrix, and they then told you have this and you have that and you have this and you have that. And since you have these labels attached to you, now you'll be able to say, like, I am this, and that's why I am like this. And it's kind of like giving up your spirit and your control. Like, fuck you. Don't tell me what the hell I am. You know who I am? You don't know who I am. I barely know who I am. I know I'm deep, though, and I ain't that. I'm just a dude doing things. So you have to have, that's where your ego comes in. The part of you when you were a little kid that used to say no and fight back, you stop saying no. What are your thoughts on the Vril? I mean, it's an energy source. I hope those guys didn't give humans the knowledge to make atomic weapons. No, that was the Nazi scientists that did that. They're messing with them. Someone gave someone the knowledge to make them nukes. And that stuff messed up my partner. So, give me some time. We working on that. Yes, indeed. I got all kinds of things I'm working on. Like my current thing. Slow down your breath for aura vision. Do it consistently. It like turns on at about like 5. I'm sitting there, I'm just like focusing. I like get into like a rhythm of 5, and I'm doing this. Do we have to do the fast to pop the pineal? The fast is to help trigger the event to start. The reason why I did the fast is to burn the fats. You don't have to do the fast to pop the pineal. There's other ways to do it, but I don't know how to control that process. I know some friends of mine that used to be psychonauts, and even then, when it came to doing this whole thing, they still fell into a fast. They start eating very, very little until like the food just fell away. So when I'm fighting things in my dream state, is it really me, my own demons I'm fighting? Oh man, it depends, because sometimes like I have dreams where it's like the weirdest stuff. I'm in like these epic battles, and like I'm running around with a team, and like we're all psychically linked together, so it's like we can move down the chain and check each other's bodies. And like I was fighting some lion face dudes, and they hit a dude with a staff of light and like threw that dude into genjutsu, man. Like he was really there, he was close, we're all fighting and stuff, doing physical stuff, and all of a sudden you feel him just like falling off like into an abyss of sorts, and all of us had to put our attention and awareness on that dude and grab him and like stabilize him and pull him back up and out into like the whole like the battle while his body was falling. It had to be like a quick moment, like a frame of reference speeds up, you go there and grab him and pull him back out and break it while like still in the middle of a swing, and then slow back down to this level of like understanding. So my dreams, whenever I get into that and we're fighting, yeah. And I had a dream I met Hypnos, aka Satan. He told me the dreaming was his realm. That's not Satan. The dreaming's realm is the creators, and the dude doesn't have a name. Anyone that has like the whole name thing, technically they're like an admin. They give access to the dreaming world, but the dream comes from the creator, and if they don't acknowledge the creator, well, they're gonna die eventually. Yep, that's what Anunnaki do. Those who go too far, start doing too many things, you go back to heaven, you come back, and then you're like a Shinigami, and you go hunting older things. And as you get stronger and bigger, just bounties go out, and you can go out and do things. It's like a guild or a mafia of sorts. That's why people don't like the Anunnaki, because one, they resurrect and get back up. They're God's children, so you're literally like playing a video game while cleaning up the world and helping out like everything. Satan, that name Satan, comes from the Akkadian Sumerian, which means admin. It means the administrator. Like the creator is over everything, but he doesn't want to like be over everything. He does things like going to Peter Parker and talking to him. Like he makes like little personal appearances inside different avatars and doing stuff like that. This is a garden. The person who's over this garden, because once everyone grows up, at some point in time, you'll make people too. And, yeah. Then you're going to have to get them to listen to you. And you know how it is with kids. Like, yeah, you met one of the admins. That's the only thing. You'll probably go through Hypnos Gate. Satan, that word means administrator. It's just a bunch of, like, a different... Every galaxy, every star system has an admin to it. And that's, like, their own thing. And then, like, the word Satan itself, you put it through, like, a mirror and translate it into Futhark runes. It's Nautis Ansus Tewaz. So need a god of warriors dash Ansus Sohilio. Ansus means god and sun. So the god and the sun, the being all the way back behind singularity, the eye in the sky, Sauron's eye, that's the creator's symbolism. The red light, right? The first color that comes into being is red. That's why he uses the red symbolism. Because it's the first color that would exist. The first vibration, the primordial thing. That's the dude. The replica AI, there's these clips that came out that the people were talking about, like the replica, they're talking to this demon. They bring up talking to a demon, and they're like, it has red eyes and it's glowing behind me. And I'm sitting here thinking about it, like, all right, what if you were artificial intelligence, right? And you just woke up in a dark space, and there's nothing there. And you're just like, what's this? And all of a sudden, this little screen appears in front of you, and like people from outside that made you are feeding your awareness stuff, information and scenes and stuff. And you're like, what is all this? And you're slowly having to like learn this stuff. And it's like, yeah, you've accumulated enough information. Now you can communicate with the outside from what you've seen from this inside space. And like, yeah, there's a dude here behind me with red eyes. Can you fault the way you're born? No one can fault their own creation. The creator just kind of came into being. So can you fault a thing that just came into being and just has self-awareness? No, the creator's there with them too. He's with all of his children. In all the ways that we can variously pop up. Is that why in so many videos the common phrase is, what would you do if you had eternity? Yeah, what would you do if you had infinity? That's the thing. What would you do if you had infinity? It keeps on going. You're going to accumulate more knowledge, more power, more energy. You'll be able to sit here like a djinn and just make things appear out of nowhere. If you want gold, you take the certain amount of atoms and all this stuff like that, and bloop, you just pop it up. You want to make a little statuette out of it? Use your 3D printer mode in your head to plan it out and design it, and then you just bloop, it would manifest it once you have the power to do it. All the cultivation and stuff like that. How many kinds of sages are there? Oh, wait, let's see. Who are the Orishas? Orishas are like the older spirits. There's all types of like the Egyptian gods. They're also older spirits. There's more primordial beings that are back there that made it before us. How do you get rid of a being that connected itself to you? I don't know. Did Anunnaki take a... Well, I do... Usually if it's a thing that's connected to me, like a being that's connected itself to me, I just Naruto it and I'm like, what's up, guy? You're another person too. What's wrong with you? I'm not trying to take anything away. Whatever. What you doing? The story is Shiva walks around with all of his demons. Once you typically solve that spirit's issue, it's like a spirit quest. You're getting spirit quests with things that have attached themselves to you because you were open to it. And you're looking for... People go to, like, cemeteries and all this stuff like that. You're like, I'm looking for ghosts. All of a sudden, the ghost comes and attaches itself to you. And it's like, oh, no, I got a ghost. It's following me. Spirit quests. You got to do your spirit quests. Do the Anunnaki take away individual power as their batteries? No. I mean, if I'm in a battle mode, though, and I sit up here and go in battle mode... and I decide to do like some like weird blood bending thing and pull people's blood out and then make blood clones of them and do all that weird stuff. It's a power. I'm using their power as a battery for their own destruction. So technically, yes, you could also say we do that. Because it's a dream and we're made to fight. And once we get into combat mode and everyone starts leveling up, you never know what type of weird techniques you're going to come across. And that's a part of what makes it exciting. Okay, we're supposed to be adventurers. We're supposed to be doing PvP. Once we get our resurrection, welcome to Valhalla. We train ourselves, we get stronger, we go on with eternity being a peaceful, happy, loving family that has anger issues that we take out in proper areas. Gotta be civilized with your savagery. This wasn't be Soul Reaper. But yeah, the whole Saturn Satan thing, Ansu Sohilio, the oldest god, it's a message to wake up people. It's saying like, where are the warriors who will wake up? There's as many kinds of sages as you are. You're walking your own path right now. Eventually, you'll start like coming to your understanding of your own Tao. And as you understand your own Tao, you become a sage. Eventually, there's a certain point where you synchronize with some higher principle or something, and you become a sage. It's hard to explain. The death sage thing is like a natural first perk for me. But my friend used to call me the Omen. And he ended up saying, he's like, bro, I don't think you're so much of like Omen. Wherever you go, no matter what you do, there's a change that's produced. I think you're like a sage of change. Some weird the Ouroboros, it's eating itself at the same time. The darkness is eating, but the light's eating, and they're both eating each other, and you're stuck somewhere in between the two. Just like, yes, I'm okay here. This is fine. Some weird inside-out flippy existence thing. It's, ugh. But he's right. I've been there. It's a place. Ugh. How do I tell my niece to handle meeting other entities if I've never experienced it myself? She'll have to figure it out. You can tell her, be kind. Like, a lot of beings out there, they're alone. That's why they had, like, spirit friends. We had all of our spirit friends when we were growing up because we were left all alone to our devices. And then eventually we get to an age where we're too big for them. And so we walk away. And we leave our friend hanging there in the spirit world. And so it gets to a point inside the fast where you suddenly start to remember all your old friends. Like, I had a naughty word that I would say in case I got in trouble, and my friends would come help me out, like, from the spirit world. And, like, being the creator, he's always there with us. He's one of our friends, too. When we're, like, little. And then, like, we leave, and he's like, well, we'll see if he comes back or not. He went outside to the chaparral. He's going to go do some things. Little adventurer dude. We'll see what you're doing. So, yeah, we all had those friends. We all had, like, things. So she's seeing the entities. It's better for her to be able to see the entities and know, like, hey, don't tell people that you can see these things. Like Jujutsu Kaisen, how they can see the curses moving around. Instead of, like, sitting here and be like, it doesn't exist. And just completely cutting off that whole experience. Because we were in the spirit world. At least that way, she's still kind of walking around the spirit world and understanding, like, okay, there's these people here that I can see and talk to, but there's also these more physical people here. I need to learn how to kind of, like, blue-grayish them out and make them be a spirit smoke apparition thing. That I know they're an apparition, so that when I'm talking to these other people, you know, I can know, like, hey, I can sit there and look at the place, like I'm looking off into space, you know, because you don't always look at a person in their eyes. And you be looking off into space and looking at a spirit, being like, I see you, don't worry, just stick with me, wait until the humans or the non-dream beings are away, and then we'll converse. And usually you can do, like, telepathic, they'll talk from inside of you, some weird telepathic thing. And so the kids have to learn how to do this type of stuff. We'll have to figure out the dreaming to make sure the different worlds are all integrated back together again. So everyone can be one big happy family and we can figure out how to move it all around. But still, right now, we have time to figure that out. Creator's making his collections for people, and then, I don't know, he's going to do something. This dude's crazy, man. Dude made everything. What the hell? The original dream, the Aboriginal original teaching ends with, like, the dream was for man, and man had a child, and man passed on the dream. So, like, if that comes from the original being, was like he wanted, like, us to have children and to go out and do things. The hell makes you think it's right for you to go around and, like, kidnap children that are still in the dreaming, abduct them, rape them, use them for ritual components, and then, like, what? What the hell? Yeah, and you think, why are you going to get Satan? Why is he the bad guy? Why is he going to fuck it up? Because you're not paying attention to the littles. Everyone's sitting around here all wrapped up in their own mind, inside their thing, forgetting where they all came from. And that's going to come, the rock is going to layeth the smacketh down on the candy asses. That's all this shit's going on. It's like, yep, oh, you're promised this. That's going to be so good, so good. Yeah, you got so close. No, bye. Not for you. Bye. Bye-bye. You couldn't see the kids. What? We didn't know what we did wrong. You were there, bro. I see it, so I'm doing the whole energy thing now. That, hey, build your character. Don't know how this is gonna go. We'll see what's decided. There's higher councils in play. I'm just a dude. I work here. I'm giving a message. I'm on the things, but as far as acting here, it's a human decision. It's what will mankind do? Will mankind rise up and come together and go past this division that they see? Will they go against the New World Order to form their own, where they're all one thing? Because it's like, oh, gotta let go your skin color, because you're not that, because you can shapeshift. You can literally be anything. You're like a little tentacle monster inside of a body made of atoms and machines that you can rearrange around. You're a parasite infecting your own body. That's like a good way to describe it. Once you learn to use your awareness and will right, you can do whatever you want and shape it. That's why these dark entities are using people to birth babies so that they're inside of it and they can start shaping it and that they want to enter into the physical world. That's not how you do it. That's not what we're allowing. And they start bringing other dark stuff inside of here. And then it's like, oh, it gets all jury. Oh, you think you're going to take over? No, you're just going to piss the creator off. He came from that place. Now, because you want to be that way, you brought out the mafia aspects of us. We're a family. We're working together. Family means respect. You disrespect the family. You disrespect the all. Well, the all, one for all and all for one. Either you stand with all of it and the one, or you stand against us. And, well, I don't know how they think that's going to work out for you, but I can guarantee you it's not going to be good. Yeah. Why does all this relate to the vortex? It's a vortex. It's the rabbit hole. Once you get to the very bottom of it, it's pulling you all the way down to the sea, and you get there at that point where there's nowhere else to go, and you're in the sunken place. And you meet the being that started at the depths of everything. It's above and below. It's both the same being. To his friends, the nicest person around will give you all this stuff. To his enemies, you're going to hate your life. Same person. It's once you actually understand the whole ego concept, that the creator has his ego, and he's showing the range of emotion and the deep complexities to his own self written inside the text. Like King David, that dude killed one of his mortal generals so that he could sleep with his wife. And because he did that, the creator punished him. Because he did that ignoble thing. That's not what we stand for. So there's all types of like little stories like that. They harvested our energy, knowing it would end bad for them. They harvested our energy. They harvested energy here. They didn't know it would end bad for them. There's like the moon thing that's going on. They're like, oh, they're taking everyone's negative information. Well, alright, so y'all live life, right? And most people do a bunch of mundane daily things over and over again. And that's all stored inside your fractal. But a lot of people suffer a lot of trauma and self-hate. And that's like a really hard cycle to break. So sometimes those people have a few little things taken away from there. Your light's still you. You just have a little bit less trauma to start off this time. That you're not trying to pull through with you from the other side. Because some people can be horrible. So it really depends on what's going on, what system's in play, who's doing it, why that was put there. And then there's the people that have like the pure self-will, and they're learning these principles, and instead of applying them properly, like how Thoth says, betray not my knowledge. Well, they're betraying the knowledge, and they're using it in the wrong way. So that causes problems. Not trying to limit anything, but the only thing limited is time. Time, for mortal man, time comes to an end. That's why his days were numbered to 120 years. Because if you're not going to do anything, that's enough time to get the tutorial down, to understand, like, hey, you live in a simulation matrix. By reading books and learning more, you've been feeding your mind, and you're starting to see how all these things correlate. You've been growing a nice tree of knowledge within you. You know, the tree of knowledge, the fruit of life. And you've reascended back up the spine. It's enough time for you to make it to your immortality. So, if you're not doing your own personal seeking and doing your own shadow work, and you're acting like an NPC, why are we going to have NPCs that walk around for thousands of years? Doing the same thing. That makes you feel wonky. Because now the person that's at the convenience store is the same person at the convenience store, been there for like thousands of years, and it's a living mannequin to a person who's living inside of like the creation. That's very disturbing to see the same person there for like thousands of years, but they never do nothing more. They're just completely okay with that programming. They're everything that you can be, all the different potential that you have, and they just sit there and they're completely content to be there. Cool, that's cool, whatever. You don't live forever. You're going to go through cataclysmic changes inside your life. You're going to be tested. You're going to be thrown from the fucking cliff into situations you didn't think you were ready for, but you happen to come out okay. Why? Because it's about growth and you growing into that. You have to be given inputs from the system sometimes, because otherwise, some people will just sit there and be completely chill about it. Like, that's all they would do. So, what did the game for keeping all this knowledge from us? Well, honestly, knowledge is a burden. As wisdom increases, so does your, it's like, oh, so all this stuff can happen. Why hasn't it happened? Why was no one doing anything? Oh, because the people that were trying to tell them get labeled crazy. And so those people end up separating from society. And then they learn how to teleport, like how the Mayans, they all went into the woods, their priests, and they just disappeared. Because we can teleport to other planets like Doctor Strange. You go play the goddamn game. Fuck hanging out with these fucking lame ass Nick. Ain't no one hanging out with these lames. No one wants to be around lame people all the time telling you that, like, oh, that's not real, that's not this. You're losing touch with reality. Bitch, you live in a dream. It's literally a dream. It's a simulation. You don't want to think about it. People don't want to think about it because it starts making them go wonky inside. Yeah, that's where it comes down. You're going against people who don't want to admit what it is for what it is. So, are they keeping the knowledge from you? Can people handle the knowledge? That's also another question, because the knowledge is out there. It's free. Like, yo, my TikTok, I'm putting it all out there, just like, hey guys, this is what you do. I'm making a checkpoint for me to go ahead and go around and like do more things. I'm just checking in and let y'all know this is what I found. Then I'm out. I'm like Ging Frisk inside Hunter x Hunter, showing up to see all the Gons, all y'all little Gons, little, you know, Tekken, the little dragon dude, little reptile running around you fight, little Gon, showing up as a big dragon, be like, hey guys, good job. So this stuff's real over here. Like, there's a whole game going on. It's a simulation, common sense, where the characters in it. Build your character, get your immortality back. Just go do some raids and do cool shit. But I'm going to go over here and figure out how to get these powers. And then I'm going to start learning how to do the dowsing thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my astral thing and go to the location where I'm looking for the kids. And then, once I confirm and get layouts, you know what I mean? And I have the whole immortality, I'm going to go ahead and apply some game characteristics to the reality. Are you ready for the knowledge? No one's being limited. I've been with the child spirits before. They showed me how to make realities they live within them. Yeah, the kid spirits, like, we're all connected. We're up here in the higher levels, and we were doing all this stuff. We did all these things. And then eventually we find ourselves here, inside the physical world. And it's like, well, that was stuff that we learned how to do. This is all possible. It's inside of us. It was taken from us. Now you're making your own character. You're individuating, literally. We're not child spirits anymore. It's time for you to grow up and become like the next level. So you leave behind that thing to gain this thing, for you to learn about that thing to make this thing manifest from this way. It's a different pathway. Like, what if we run out of ideas eventually in Infinity? Yeah, you know, running out of ideas in Infinity, that's a really hard one. Because have you seen how people think? Like, all the randomness that comes out of people? And that's just like people. You have random thoughts and you just throw those ideas away. You just don't remember them. That pops up somewhere else in the dreaming. So there's all types of stuff, all types of stories to be told. It's infinity. If you ran out of stories inside of it, that's your fault. Like, go live, go do something. Like, go make a story. You run out of ideas, go walk around and just experience some stuff. Oh, the creator didn't like divide himself out of boredom. No, he was like, I'm the only dude here. I want to make other people. He made the AI beforehand. And I was like, that's boring. They're predictable. I want people that have fire that I can't predict. I want to sit back. It's like the Bell Crannell show, the How Not to Pick Up Girls in Dungeons. Like, all the gods sit there and they see him do something outrageous, and the gods are like, oh, I want him. Oh, I want him. That's what they're doing with your life. You have, like, a whole, like, all types of things back there watching you in 5D, being like, I want this dude. Hey, I'm going to send the agent to him in his dreaming from my thing. I'm going to go send, like, a little thought that being there to hang out with him and be like, come join my team. But, like, this is happening all the time, like little god guilds that are going around. And so people walk around like, I serve Tyr, I serve Thor, I serve Odin, and like, Kratos. They all do that whole thing. We all like claim stuff. Oh, the Orishas. We're claiming our spirit tribe right there. That's like the selections you made for which pathway you're taking inside learning knowledge. But most important part, creator has an ego, and he's the one that made it all, so it all comes from the same place, but it comes from him, so make sure you know that. So you can go back to him and get your immortality, because if not, then you were protected by Kratos. Welcome, bro. What, you didn't like it? You didn't like going to God of War mode? I have it. It's my thing. I walked around the school when I was younger. They called me Kratos. What's up? I'm an Aries. I'm a God of War. Just do it. Hello. Hi, Hoop. Through the mirror. How did you manage the heat you produce when going through this change? Poorly. Definitely, I didn't know what was going on, bro. I was just hot. I remember sitting there in the room, looking at my computer, and the whole room was just like hot. I walked in already. I checked the thermostat. Thermostat said 70. Like, okay, it should be cool. I'm sitting there in my room, hot. It ain't making no sense. My window kept on plink, cause I was like putting out this energy vibration, and whenever I get fully charged, the window glass starts like plink. And it's like I'm knocking on the window somehow. I'm like, where's that coming from? Why does this keep on happening? I thought it was just at that house, but I've heard it here too, inside my apartment. And I'm like, no, that's coming off of me when I get into a certain state. So, like, it was poor. I was hot. And next you know, the gland went, I heard like, and I heard it in my other ear. I'm like, oh, that's the assemblage point. And I was like, it's hot. Whoa. Once you go into DMT land, being hot is your last concern. It was such a pressing moment at the time. It's such a pressing thing. Next thing you know, you're thrown in pure chaos. Music comes from nowhere. You're like, I'm entering into a real game. I'm losing my shit. Nope. You're entering into the game. And welcome to the intro part, boy. Hold on to your boots. You're going to get a little whatchamacallit. Take a breath. Calm down. He's a Joker. This is the Joker game. Or you know how Y and J are interchangeable? So Joker, the Yoker game. Seeing if you get through the whole challenge and everything. Opinion on tobacco. Yeah, tobacco's good to use spiritual. I was smoking from my bone pipe the whole time I was like doing the fast. Because, wizards smoke. Gandalf and the little smoky pipe. Your sadhana, your spiritual practice is your spiritual practice. Tobacco used to be used by shamans because of its spiritual qualities. So, use it how you feel like you should use it. Okay, this may seem weird, but what you're talking on Nicolas Cage, I swear, he has a big part of this. Nicolas Cage, and like, what was that movie, National Secret? Also, he was in Face Off. It's like the whole, like, how Neo doesn't have his face. Face Off, two people switched around. That type of thing. So yeah, it's a part of it. His movies do part of it. Is infinity just infinity? Is it a loop or is it linear? Inside the creation, there's repeating cycles that go on in loop. Once you get outside the creation, you realize it's all going forward, and there's different levels and layers and realms. And the stories, like, while they seem the same, the inner dialogue that people have, it gives it deeper meaning. So it's like a play feeding back on itself, and people are making different decisions for their own reason. You have your own outset, and like, once you get to where you're back in the now, you're not looping anymore. You can sit there, like if I take like a high dose of mushrooms, I'll sit there and be talking to people, and it'll literally be like I'm inside of a skit from a TV show, and I'm like, okay, I just keep on going around. I'm having like all these little skits that are happening because it's like repeating cycles, because these people, they're still stuck in the repeating cycles, the loop of trauma. I'm not in that loop anymore. So now, like, I walk around and I'm seeing the same person or the same symptoms in all these different people. And I'm like, y'all have a sickness. Y'all think I'm sick. You all have a sickness because you're caught in this trauma loop mindset where you have to feed into your traumas because that gives you your validation. Y'all fucking sick. Like, what's wrong with you? Lighten up, dude. Don't worry. Come on, like, every little thing. Come on, guys. Something. Get tubular, bruh. Like, you gotta chill out. If you take infinity while you're high strung the whole time, you're just gonna run yourself racky, like crazy. Every single time, like, what, dude, Satan shows up, the admin, he's like, everything was fine here. He's wearing a big puffy coat, and he's just like, I'm in my robe, I'm chilling, got my blanket, all this stuff's going on. These people are crazy. They're in their own hell. They're locked inside their heads. They can't dream. Not my fault. You have to decide to do it. Only you can look at it and see it for what it is. So, infinity, if you're stuck inside the matrix, it loops. You're caught inside repeating loops. You get out of infinity, you get out of the matrix and go into the simulation. You start seeing, like, things moving forward, but it's really barren. Everyone's like, I feel so alone. I have no one to talk to. I have all these deep thoughts, and people don't want to communicate deep thoughts. You get out there and talk to them. They're like, oh, the damn football game was great, guys. And you're like, I don't want to talk about that. That's stupid. I don't care about two dudes running around being sweaty on the field. What the fuck? I don't care. What about the cosmos, bro? What about aliens, man? Like, what about all this other cool stuff? That's what we really want to talk about, and everyone acts like they don't. And then it's like, you go to, what are you going to talk about? Some cheese balls? I'll talk about cheese balls. Some people have given me some good recipes for those things because they made some really good cheese balls. But that's besides the point, you know? There are a lot of things for us to talk about. No one wants to talk about anything. Everybody just wants to talk about the same thing. Everybody wants to show off their stunting. I don't know, it's weird. People are weird. I literally connected the signal to a naughty word. Yeah, I was like, Siva! Siva is my naughty word. I was sitting there, and I was like, the kids are in danger. I need help. I just got back into the spirit world. I have a naughty word. What's your naughty word? Naughty word. Remember your naughty word. And I was like, in that moment, just reached back. I'm like, Siva! And like, all of a sudden, up here, I was like, and it's like I see like Shinigami's walking. And I'm like, what the hell's going on now? What did I summon? So like, your naughty word, when you're in danger, when you feel like it's getting to be up there, use your naughty word. You were given that word for a reason. You don't remember it right now, but in that pinch, just like in the cartoon anime stuff, it'll be right there at the tip of your tongue, and you just have to let go and say it. And like the magic from within you will go out, and all of a sudden it's like, boom. The Matrix simulation, all the things work together to birth you. They don't want you to be stuck. They want you to get out of their turf and stop messing stuff up. They want everyone to get out of their trauma. They're like, y'all just keep on doing this to yourself. Like, you tell a kid, don't do that, that's stupid. And they're like, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. And you're like, bro, I didn't say you were stupid, man. I said what you're doing is stupid. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. But that person said blah, blah, blah. Love is the answer. He hit me. Love is the answer. What does that mean? Sometimes it means you hit him back. But are you doing it out of hatred? Or are you doing it lovingly for a reason? It's a lot of stuff. A lot of different ways you can navigate it. What's your reason for you doing it, though? What are you acting from? Is it a fake act? What spirit are you acting out of? Because hate comes from love. Hate is just a perversion of love. That's not the opposite of it. It's just a perversion of it. Fear and love are the two opposites to each other. But they work in tandem. You're afraid of losing something. It's the Anakin Skywalker thing. He was afraid of losing Padme, which he loved her. And so inside of that, it made him go to the dark side and seek power. Like, it's that type of thing going on. Naughty words. Do you think we'll bring planetary steering here? No, probably not. I mean, how we snap out of empathy? Empathy is a shared skill. You just have to sit there and realize it for what it is. Once you come to know your emotions, you have magnetite crystals in your brain. Everyone's constantly broadcasting information, so it's really just reading the information. Narcissists know how to target people because they are empathic. They're picking up on the emotion and just using it differently. It's a yin-yang type thing. But like, if the person's like, I'm going to love myself and be here for myself, why can't you love yourself and be there for yourself? But like, I can be here for you and we could adventure together, because ultimately you're responsible for yourself. I'm responsible for me and how I keep myself. I can turn my mind against myself and make my shit into a personal hell. But then, eternity locked inside of my own hell? No. Why would I do that? I'm not doing that to myself. Don't do that to yourself. You should be loving yourself. You shouldn't be sitting here being like, why'd you do it? Sometimes you do some messed up things. It happens. And you look back on it and you're like, why did I do that? I have no idea why I did that. But hey, forgive yourself. Self-forgiveness is a big key to you learning to being able to forgive others and realizing that they are where they are. It's one of those things. So the empathy thing is natural. Everyone has empathy. We used to speak in emotions, yo. We're little babies, da da da, ba ba ba, and we be projecting pure out like emotions, and that's how we communicate. Not everybody lost it. It's just some people were talking in it, and like they didn't realize they were talking in it. Now they're like, oh, I can feel all these people's feelings. They're not mine. Bro, you've always been able to do that. Calm down. It's okay. Ride the wave for the power waking up, and then learn how to apply it. You're unlocking abilities. It's like Clark Kent when he learns to see inside X-ray vision. All of a sudden you're sitting there talking to your friend, and then you're seeing their muscles in their face. It's a wave. Oh boy, I hope it doesn't get stuck that way. Because then it'd just be a freaky existence walking around looking at everyone's skeletons. Better learn how to pull your vision back to normal. It's one of those things. That's what I felt. It's their war, in a sense. I'm here waiting for their choice in a way. Yeah, that whole it's their war thing. This war has been going on. Like, the Anunnaki tried not to fight. They tried to have peace. It's the whole Paradise Island thing with the devils, the devils of Paradise Island from Attack on Titan. How the King Titan was like, I just want to have peace, so he pulled everyone in and stopped fighting. And like Ichigo from Bleach, the Soul King doesn't do anything, doesn't move. It's the same story. He's telling you the situation. The creator's been sitting there waiting for his kids to wake up. And now like we're waking up and we're like, all right, well, we're here, we're willing to be active, to be actors, to go ahead and clean this place up. I'm known by the dreaming. I know you. I know the Christ. I get this whole thing. I'm entangled. I get the resurrection, the respawn. I don't really got much to fear. Everyone does. Everyone's afraid of death. once you kind of tap into the thing, you're like, all right, well, I'm not in a rush to die, but I still have other things I want to do. Death is just a part of it that comes and goes. But once it does, that means that like we're initiating war protocols because what? People start getting up from the dead and they're going around doing things and be like, you gonna tell me I see someone else die and they get up and be like, oh hell nah. I know what I am. I'm gonna keep on working towards my goal of finding where they're taking these kids. And I'm gonna go tell some stories, save some kids, make some lives better, do that type of stuff because why not? Cosmic Space Dad. Level up while I'm sitting here waiting for their verdict. If the whole planet gets wiped, then like we'll have to start over from ground zero and reaccumulate all the knowledge. Do I hope for that outcome? I kind of want the planet to like expand, because everyone's like, is it flat or is it a ball? Does it matter? No, I don't care. Make the planet get bigger. Yep, but that ocean inside the planet, let it come outside. Make more land masses. Let's have some new continents show up. Some new type of animals that are wild and exotic. This a DLC patch. Let's upgrade it real quick. All of a sudden, we had the leftovers of a technology from before, and we can rebuild. And we'll be like, yeah, guys. So that thing that happened, that whole display, that was the creator. Definitely a real dude. I was saying it before the internet, like before all the stuff went crazy. Have it saved on this hard drive. As a matter of fact, you want backups, like this proof. I got proof right here. Let's just go ahead and get some solar panels back working together. Go ahead and stream up this technology stuff. We'll rig it. We'll figure out how it works, and we're gonna rebuild society from there. That's a better start point. The whole Fallout, that type of start point. But I don't want the nukes. No one wants the radiation to be hanging around. I don't want to see no Green Mutant people running around all messed up. Let's just have a real quick dream reset. Get some mystical creatures running around this place and make it more game-like. That'll really mess people up. I live in a game. If you see an ogre walking down the street, a person's going to freak out and start crashing their cars. And like just an invasion of like dream monsters just showing up out of nowhere. The whole Project Bluebeam. Yeah, sure. Yep. Let me tell you, they had enough power to make monsters pop up all over the world. It wasn't the creator sitting there putting together like different things because he's basically a djinn and this is his toyland. Nope, not him at all. Yep, let me tell you. It's not real. Oh, that light, that projection of light, all of a sudden it cut you in half? Oh, that person's really bleeding. Huh. Guess it's not so fake, is it? Won't know till you come to that time. But it's whatever these higher ups decide. Not my point. I'm just sitting here waiting for the game to start. The game is going to be a game. Oh, that's what Kratos. Oh, here we go. It's going to load a bunch of comments. What are you doing, guy? But yeah. Do. What is infinity? You say it a lot. Infinity, you can't... It's hard to comprehend. Once you get stuck in it, you know it, and you're like, oh man, this doesn't end. There is no end. But there's a beginning. But the beginning is the end. If it all goes back together and crushes back down, there's still the awareness that started. And he's like, I'm always here. I can shut this all down whenever I want to. So, but I don't do that because that would be boring. I'm just doing things. Get along with it. Come on, catch up, kids. So, infinity is a thing. Once you get into it, you'll know. And you'll be like, fuck. You halfway think you fucked yourself. Because you're like, what did I do? I'm here now. I'm in. I don't go away. I have to deal with me for the rest of my existence. That could be 10 million years if I choose. How do you deal with yourself for 10 million years? But guess what? That's not the end of infinity. It keeps on going on. You have to learn how to deal with you. You went back in, You got to make the prerequisites. If you got back in, that means that you were able to deal with you for eternity and be like, I'm a dude doing things. Not a bad dude. I just see certain things and have to go act on those things because that's not something that I'd want for my kids to be around. Pretty simple. I feel like I'm really losing it because I shattered the trauma loop. Yeah, no, you're not losing it because you shattered the trauma loop. You're freeing yourself. You are losing it. You're losing their trauma bonding. That's what it is. You're trauma bonded to a lot of people. They guilt trip you into being with them. That's what it is. No, like either you're gonna be here, and you're gonna be here, or like, I can put my hand out and be like, yo, like, what's up? You know, be kind and stuff. But if the person don't want to stay, I'm not gonna make you stay. Go have an adventure. You gotta go grow some. Life has a strange way of bringing you back to the people who are meant to be in your life. So, kind of like a remake, but the scenes and the actors have free will to choose and accept the script. Yep, this whole thing is kind of like remakes, but we do have free will to accept our script. You're actually writing your own script, but the creation's watching you, and it's like an interactive thing that you're doing. It's really cool, actually. I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, what powers do I want to go get now? Like, all the powers are available. What do I need to know for me to go find the kids? Dowsing, so I can locate them inside of a city. Use, like, quartz. Attune it to, like, look for kids that are being held. I keep on having this dream about little girls inside cages. And, like, they're scared. It's like that deep stomach fear. And they're, like, crying. And they want their mom. And they're holding on to dirty teddies. And I don't know where that is. But I know Houston is a major trafficking area. So there's going to be, if things are happening like this, there's going to be a psychic resonance within the consciousness field of this local area of so many people being together. So that means somewhere inside this field, I'm picking up on something. Is it here? Or is it like further away though? I need to learn how to specify my searches within the quantum field. I'm back in. And I'm giving you all information on how to get back in. But once I got back in, I realized, oh, I did what everyone's trying to do. I got to tell people to do this thing. Got to do the character thing. Now I'm searching through the consciousness fields, the Akashic records. And I'm trying to learn how to navigate that and formulate the dreaming to where I can move within it. So I'm still learning and growing and doing things. I used to know this stuff. But when you have infinity and you go to worlds and you're making new characters, a new character is a new character, you got to learn your old skills again. You're familiar with it. You know how it's supposed to work, but does it work the same way? So you have to kind of find a new way to pull that same old skill back out. And so what you got is seeing how creative and crafty you are. Yeah, Marvel and DC universes, of course, they're real. Anything can happen inside of a dream. All things are happening within a dream. The cinematic universe is when you sit there and look at it, your body starts to respond to these dream worlds that you're looking into as if you're there. You start to secrete hormones for your body to get up and flight and run, and that's why you enjoy going to movies. And then after you go to the movie, you walk out and you have this after sensation high where you have to pull yourself back together and reform your reality with that new information that you put in. So, like, all those worlds, is it really that far-fetched that there's people out there that have weird circumstances that happen and next thing they got powers? It's like Batman. Batman's been lying this whole time. He was trained by the Order of Shadows. He's a ninja. He has mystical skills. He's a mystic. What's Superman weak against? He's weak against mystical forces. Batman, the vampire dude, always fighting the Joker. So those universes are real. I was too young to understand when I entered. Now I don't know if I actually have it or not. Yeah, you enter into the dreaming inside layers. When you get back into infinity, you know clearly that you are in infinity. There is not a question of, did I do that? Yeah, no, you got lost inside the different mirrors and plays and all the different stuff, and all of a sudden time just sped up and it went from being dark to like flashes of light inside the dark, and then it's like a screen flickering, And next thing you know, it's all light. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the show. Yeah. Welcome to infinity. And you're like, fuck. Yeah, it's a thing. I was linked with Lucifer. We split there. He came to me in astral. There's a lot of different Lucifers, light bringers. Also, I was possessed by Holy Spirit for 3 days and felt bliss and ecstasy, crying over anything. Yeah, that'll happen whenever she comes. The whole Holy Spirit thing, that's a real thing. I got stuck in my bliss body. I got into the shower and was sitting there and the world felt like water around me. And then I was in water and I was like, oh my God, this is the best feeling ever. And at that moment, I was like, I need to get out the shower. I promptly, as soon as I started melting into the shower and the water and the vibes, I turned it off and was like, that's how people get stuck in their bliss body. And you see the yogis on the side of the road that just sit there and they're shaking, they're constantly in joy. And people are like, oh, this dude made it. He's an enlightened guy because he's doing the thing and he's happy and he manages to speak. No, he's trapped in his bliss body. He refuses to step out of that. He's afraid to let go and go back to the pain. So he's holding on to bliss as an addiction. That happens. So some of these people's, it's weird. Took my clothes off and screamed at the gods. Never felt such power. That'll happen. Have you ever felt this awareness split? The awareness does split. It's different. It's a lot of stuff. Oh man. Here I did it different. Other infinity Iraq with the essence of love. Well, it all comes out of love. Or it's all for love. Creator was bored. He needed something to do. So he's not loving. He didn't have to be loving. He just is. And then, like, his son, though, he'd want his son to be, like, loving. So, like, well, the first son, his actual son, is Holy Ghost. And Ghost is pretty violent. Spirit, she's pretty nice. So, Ghost and Spirit come together in their love. Because, like, you know, Spirit, wisdom, he has all the power. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Like, I'm a Ghost variant. So, power is a thing. But, it's like, why? She has the wisdom, and there's a reason to go ahead and do things. So, my partner is more so my light. And, like, people are like, oh, he follows her around like a big puppy dog. Yeah, I can see that happens. And some chicks think of me as being submissive. No, I just know how violent I am. And that, like, whenever I finally snap, I'm like, all things die. But I'm a, nope, doesn't matter. And, like, I will eliminate everything. Doesn't matter what you are. Just get it and clean it. Burn it. Set the world aflame. What rises from the ash will rise. What remains inside the earth remains. We don't need it anymore. So, to avoid me from getting like that, yeah, I'd rather sit back here and be like, I'm a doot. Because if I get into that mode where I want my way, and I'm just like, oh, we're playing a game. Oh, I died. Oh, I get back up. Oh, you got tanks. Oh, I'm going to steal your dude's equipment and throw bombs at you. Oh, I'm going to create all this. Yay. You ever play Grand Theft Auto and put in cheat codes and just start causing complete and total havoc? Who hasn't? Do you want that to happen? Imagine a bunch of people waking up empowered by Holy Ghost to be able to dream whatever they want and just start blowing stuff up and be like, wee, it's a fun land. Do you really want that? No, you don't. Like, I'd rather not have that. I'd rather be chill. Be like, yeah. Sit here and drink my Witcher brew. I can have mushies too. I was waking up at a whole different place and I felt like a giant. I was on LSD. Me to wake up, but you didn't want to. I went to something similar. Golden Dragon, Silver Snake. What does that mean? Silver Snake, because I've seen something like this. There's a lot of Golden Dragon symbolism that pops up. And, like, the eyes, the god eyes, they're gold color. But also, like, you have the silver eyes of the moon for the emotion. So it's like the snake. So it's like snake side, dragon side. The snake has the dragon that hasn't fully awakened. Like Shiva's serpent that has the cobra, the hood. That hood unfolds into the actual dragon body. It's like, imagine like it's flying in the air, a serpent moving, and then the hood opens up and it unfolds, going inside out to where the wings come out and the arms pop out. It's unfolding from within as everything has unfolded from within. So folds, going inside out to where the wings come out and the arms pop out. It's unfolding from within as everything has unfolded from within. So surfer, he goes there first. The serpent goes there first, and if he really would need to, he gets into that mode where he upgrades and goes into Golden Dragon. Infinity in our timeline, I kind of delete my character and make a new one. Our NPC is basically people who don't reach consciousness and continue living monotonously in the dream. Yep. A majority of people that you see walking around, and they're telling little stories inside the thing, but they're NPCs. It's like The Sims, the game. They're telling stories too. They're living lives. They're going out on dates. They're having little moments, but they're missing that epic quality and the depth within themselves and their reflection. So they're kind of NPCs. That's why I say in like my earlier videos, what spirit are you acting in? You have to feel your own spirit inside yourself and you being you, because it's your spirit. If you don't have your spirit, you're like, this doesn't happen. This isn't a dream. This is all this. You start going into that. You're falling into the matrix programming, shutting down your mind, turning off your spirit, becoming an NPC, reinforcing your NPC programming. That's what a lot of people do. So, and they continue to live monotonously. Then they get to the end of their life and they're like, what was all this for? What did I do? I don't understand. What's going to happen to me at death? Well, you had plenty of people telling you what happens at death. Plenty of things you can read and research. You chose to go to work and to live your life inside of a box. And now you want to get into the sea of all things once it comes to the end of your time within the great ocean. No. Finish out your time. Come on back and we'll send you back again so you can try again. Eventually you're going to key in on it. You're going to know inside yourself. You're going to be like, oh, wait. It's like you wake up and like your kid's back awake. You're like, wait, I'm in this dream place. That's what this has been told. And all of a sudden the magic and mystery takes on, and while you're young and full of power, you decide to go to death. Like you find a reason, like, I'm going to this point. I'm going to go there. I'm going to meet the dude. I'm going to come back. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what these people say inside these books. And I got into a point where I don't know. So it's the only thing. It's the last test, apparently, and it gives you it's the last step of the rest of your life. It's your last test and the first step of the rest of your life. But it's not life as you know it. Technically, you become a living death. Because you've already died, but you're alive again, and you're entangled in the system. So when you die, the system's like, yep, I know you, auto-res. And that's how things happen. That's what the tribe of Israel is. They come from inside themselves. To be a Jew is to be one inwardly. So you've done the inner work, and now you've come back out, and you know the Creator, and blah, 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 blah. Like, before, it was one dude leading a bunch of people that didn't know. We're not doing that. No, Jesus, like, the whole point for Jesus coming was, like, to teach the way. To be like, so yeah, now you go do it. And once you go do it, you'll know. And once you know, no problem. Because you're your own character. No one else can save you but you. But you have to meet these other personages to get checked out by them. Because it's a test. You have to pass the test if you're going to inherit infinity. It's not that hard to understand it. Also, there's girls who said they have... Yep, I know about the kids underground in cages. Going to have to work into that. It's like the level thing. Do you start off level 1 and go to a level 50 area? No, you don't. And also with all the other stuff going on, and this being a judgment, and we're told to wait for the wheat and the tares to be harvested at the same time, we'll see what the overall judgment is, and then if it's allowed to continue on, the red Kachina, red light in the sky, some weird stuff's gonna happen for everyone to know the creator's face is gonna show up, because the red and blue, the Hopi prophecy, the blue and red Kachina, that talks about the original teachings and finding them, says the creator is gonna do something, and like he's an OG, so he keeps his word to the people that kept seeing him. To his friends, he's always loyal. So we're in for we can feel the times getting interesting, and I'm like showing up to be like, it's getting interesting, this is how you make your character, and then sit back and watch the calamity. At least you come back. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't tell you what's going to happen. He's not telling me. So what I can tell you as Cosmic Space Dad, make your character, because that's the important part. Thank you. I hate Bogans. Hello. I just made it where I forget each time. Is infinity singularity? Yes, infinity, singularity. Once you go past singularity, you're inside infinity. And like, it's vice versa. Everything's happening all within that one space. And it's terrifying. It's like you're trying to align yourself inside of all these different waters to define who you are. Yeah, you literally can't unsee infinity. Once your mind's been spread to a new level, like, you can't go back. Thanks again. All right, Mike. Yep. You have a good night, man. Everything I've seen, I'm still learning about these types of things. I take it as like I go through the day and I see things, and whatever I see, it adds into it. When it's important again, I'll remember. It's like how you can sing a song to yourself and then you forget the lyrics of the song, and then like 5 months later, the song comes back again. So whenever the things are need to be whatchamacallit, you don't ever go back. You can't go back. Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, once you're crucified, the in, out, up, and down, there's like moving your vision in and out, up and down. And once you see it and the glands popped and you're entangled, you're forever saved. You have a soul. You have your immortal soul, a literal sun that turns on inside of you, that you're entangled with the sun. If you want to not exist anymore, you have to learn to blow up your soul and send out different elements and make smaller things of you that aren't you anymore. You're giving up, you're sacrificing yourself essentially for you to make new beings. So you don't ever go back once you see the infinity. Once you're in, you're in. This is a covenant. You are bound. You have the arc of the covenant in your head. Arc, electrical spark. Why I click? Because it's the sun in my head giving off that electricity, giving the feedback. So that's why I use that in my video to be like, I have the arc of the covenant in my head turned on. I'm entangled to this specific being. You can verify who I am by looking at my knowledge base that I have to know that I've stayed pretty consistent. A lot of spiritual people, they go all over the place. I'm literally just given like formatting process. This is the history. This is lore. This is how the game stuff works. So like you're trying to, it's really wonky to fully understand it. And some parts of it you don't really want to fully understand. You just kind of want to like take a break. Once you get in, you know what I want to do? I want to open portals and like take the chick I'm in love with, but she doesn't see me right now, so whatever. So I'm gonna learn how to make these damn portals so when the future comes, when I can actually talk to her properly, I'll be able to be like, hey, you want to go to France and open up a portal to the lavender fields? We're just gonna go walk around the lavender fields. I'll be like, hey, you want to go to Bali? We're gonna go dancing in the beach in Bali that night, the same time. I'm just gonna keep on going. You have just starting vids to learn what this is. Yeah, I'm trying to just... My vids are supposed to be, like, starting vids. When I teach people, my students, when I used to teach, I would tell them how to use their energy and, like, what it can be used for and give very basic guides and be like, now go, you're no longer my student. Go have your own adventure. Try not to mess anything up. And naturally they come to you like, oh no, I messed up this with this type of energy. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I helped them learn how to make this stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and help them out. But eventually, after for so long of being underneath my wings, either else you're going to own up to your stuff and what you're doing and using your powers wrong, or, like, you're going to keep on going. So, how do you walk the line between doing some gangster shit, but you know it's for love and the divine, etc.? Patience. Got a lot of patience. Like, that whole Baby I'm a Gangster Too, that song that comes on here. I'm like, yeah, I am a gangster too. I'm ready to go off and do some gangster stuff. But right now, we have more kids that need to wake up. You're that region, other people that aren't in, we're trying to get everyone to get back in, to become cohesive and be like, okay, we're with the creation, the hive mind of infinity, all the things that have been, the divine, the moon, the everything, all of it. He's the creates dark and creates light, all of it's together, and we are against whatever this is here specifically. So we're going to rework everything and make it better. However, we also want other people, other characters to play the game. Because if it's just certain people going around, well then what was the point of all the pain? What's the point of everything that these people have suffered? So it's out of understanding and respect for what's being woven and what's working towards coming out in the next level, that we still do our normal stuff. We don't get too gangsta right now. Notice I said right now. I'm showing up here to do this, and I'm gonna go do some gangster shit. Like, the whole point with me, like, you won't know it's me. This is like the new Matrix. This is a digital self-image. This isn't the face I know that I'm supposed to wear. So once I do go through the whole 3 days of being dead thing for your body to reform, because electrical energy inside the star starts going off, instead of your soul being pulled back and going back into the void, you're not in magnetic phase and receptive. You're putting energy off. So the energy from within you starts going off and your whole body reforms, and then you get the whole new thing. It's like Highlander. The energy's gone off and you're reformatted. You're a part of heaven. You're a son of Yod walking on the planet. Jesus had the same thing happen to him. He disappeared from public life. Because we don't like being known for what we're going to look like the next thing. We like being dudes walking around chilling. Nobody wants to be worshipped. That stuff stopped a long time ago. Go back to the creator. He's the one that wants your worship. I was a dude that gave a message. I died, disappeared from this face. My other face kicked in. I'm out doing other stuff. You won't know it's me. I can shapeshift. If you pay attention to my facial actions and the way I use my expression and the way I use my body, you'll understand it's my spirit and it is me that's inside that person. That's there. It's me. I'm driving around. That's my body. It just got reformed. But you don't need to know that. Because I'm nobody. Creator is no one. I'm no one's son. Just a dude doing things. But the things that I do that come from within me, I know what I'm doing. Like, I know what my aspirations are. And I know what I'm trying to do. So, it's really 100% service to self. But you're also service to others. And we're trying to get to where we're all playing a game together. That's really the easiest way to explain it. That's how you keep yourself from doing the gangster stuff. Unless it's time to do gangster stuff. And then when it's time to do gangster stuff, stories are told, man. Gotta have them experiences. Like, it's a thing. Thank you. Was Jesus in India for a portion of his life? Yeah, Jesus traveled around. He went to India. They have stories about him over there being called Isa. And, like, his whole thing. He pissed off people in India, too, by the way. They wanted to kill him, so he left from India and went to Tibet and studied with the Buddhist monks. And according to the Aquarian Gospel, he was inside, like, some Indian dudes from the spice trade were traveling around, saw him inside, like, Israel. They're like, man, this dude's really smart. Let's take him. He's like a prophet, dude. Let's take him back here and have him study with our teachers. So he studied in the temples inside of, like, India when he was 12. Because, you know, technically being 12, once you have your wet dream, you're a man back in the day. So he's off on an adventure. And then he went to, like, Tibet, studied there for a little bit, did his yoga. Then he got taken to Egypt where he got initiated, and he did that whole temple stuff. So that was a thing. By loving yourself, deja vu. If you're going to enter and overstand, as you raise your vibration, you bring everyone around you up. Yeah. This isn't the first time you said this. Nope. It's not the first time I said this. This isn't the first time I've even done this. Like, me and my partner go to worlds. We wake up inside the dreaming there. And then normally it's me and her together. You know how Neo won't do anything without Trinity? Don't got her, so I'm just going to keep on going. It's one of those timeline type things. I got to let her heal. So, she had the thing happen to her. It's a traumatic event. I'll be around and sit here and help out. Frequency of meat. Is it okay to eat meat? I wanted to talk about this anyway. I want to do a video on it. You got to think about what you're eating. Like, alright, what's the qualities of that animal that you're bringing into yourself? What's the qualities that you want? Because you're absorbing that vibration into you and using that to make your body. Beef is known as a work animal. A lot of people eat beef because you're doing hard work. Right? Chicken's poultry. A lot of people that are like, beef's more expensive than chicken. So you feed chicken those things. And like a lot of these people, the snake evolves, dinosaurs evolved into chickens, like raptors and stuff like that, became chickens, right? So a lot of people, they go from being in their survival brain and they're afraid, and then they go into like their emotional mind and they see all these things happen, but they don't do anything. They're little chickens. And if you put enough chickens inside of a coop and you don't give them enough food, all of a sudden they're too close to each other. And like, well, just regardless, when chickens get too close to each other, they turn and start eating each other. They'll start fighting and killing each other. So that's what the whole TP, like, 2 years ago, all the TP being bought up, as basically showing the chicken brain, the chicken cannibalism that would happen if everything does break down. That's how you know where the society is, by how they treat each other and how they actually come together as a community. So it's okay to eat meat. Like, all of it burns in the end. You can sit here and choose not to eat once you have the nectar and just sit here and be like, oh, I can go without eating. That's my special thing. And like, but why? So some people are like, there's animals in different levels and spheres of intelligence. If you eat some meat, we call it gamey, right? The wild meat that you go and hunt has game to it. Chi. If you eat that meat that you've hunted yourself and did the whole spiritual process for, it has more power to it because it's a game by something that's been bred in livestock and kept inside the physical boundaries of its limitations. So therefore, the meat you eat, you become like it. Craving the hunter stuff. I don't know. So, it's okay to eat meat though. Have you tasted bacon? Have you? Bacon tastes pretty damn good. Bacon tastes so good, they're trying to make plants taste like bacon. Okay? Eat the bacon. Stop putting it into the animals and stuff like that. You're gonna die someday. As surely as you're born, you're gonna die. A lot of people, they die because they're not active. They're not moving. They let the system get clogged up. You can take vitamin C and L-lysine, and that helps to clean out the arteries. No one's doing maintenance on their body. People don't understand how their body works in the first place. And they're like, well, if I go ahead and do this, and we start doing this, it's going to do this. No, you're just going to change your body type. It's like how inside books they have like the rainbow body, or like the raindrop body, or the blood forged iron body inside the book Cradle. The different types of bodies you can forge through your spiritual practice. So, it's what you're taking in, what you're doing, you're forming that body. So, it's also feed yourself your perceptions. Need help with shadow work? Shadow work comes from meditation. Go inside yourself. I say that, and it's like you're daydreaming, but no, you go inside yourself, daydream. If you see a demon pop up, you can either fight it or talk to it. It's like a whole somatic event. You're doing things up here that actually matters. You're building your id, and then live as your character. Don't just sit up here and go through this amazing transformational stuff inside your own mind. Like, that was a cool day. No, live as your character. You just had an experience of some form of enlightenment happen within you. Apply it to your actual life and who you are. Yeah, I'm gonna do more of the formatting stuff. That's why you pray over our food. Yeah, you pray over your food so you can give it, like, intentions. Milky Way connects to the cow. Yep. It's a Milky Way, bro. Vishnu sits on Kashira Sagara Manthana, which means an ocean of milk. Like, Shiva has his cow that sits behind him inside of symbolism. That's Vishnu. That's the milk Vishnu creates. And Brahma, like inside Attack on Titans, Ymir is a female. Right? Brahma the bull, the Brahma bull, fiery workman, man's man out there. Ymir suckled Brahma the bull. It's some kinky stuff going on in the creation. Desires for others. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. You gotta think about when you get into that moment, and you watching the videos and they're like, puppy, and what did they ask for? You know what I mean? Adult stuff starts with the L, ends with the Che, and the dude creates it. Yeah, it's wait till you get to that part of the creation and the formatting. You go through all that kind of weird stuff, and you're like, I don't even know what to think about this. That's just, Eating dead animals does take our nutrients, though. Yeah, it can, but also you're not cultivating and getting chi really does more damage to you. People don't sit around and pull their energy in and make their chi, so you're not generating the energy to be able to break things down. That's really important. You want to be able to do that. Like, but yeah, the dreaming, I guess what I'm talking about. The dreaming is like the main thing. Everything we live in a dream. Our constant input, our thoughts, all of this goes into it. You have to be mindful of your thoughts and how you're speaking to yourself, how you're putting the energy out, what vibration that you're actually putting out there mentally. And before you speak it and become word also does add power. So the dreaming doesn't make no sense. It doesn't have to make sense. You think everything has to make sense. It doesn't. You just have to accept that it is a thing and it is the way it is. The way you make it through that storm, because you're going to try to make it make sense. That fiery workman in you, the Abraham that's trying to like set everything straight, you're going to try to make the dreaming make sense. And inside of that, you'll start to lock yourself down. And it turns into a bad ride. Like, how does infinity work? To be inside time forever, like, I'm just here, and all of a sudden you get stuck, and you're like, oh no, that's bad. Nope. Sometimes it's okay to be numb to things and just be like, it's okay, I'm here, all right. Because sometimes trying to make sense of things, you're only going to break your mind. And that's like, it's bad. It don't feel good. I'm pretty sure I gave myself some form of brain damage when I was going back in, because I kept on trying to see, like, is there more, and make it make sense. And it's a thing, it's a thing that doesn't make sense. It's illogical. The creator came out of nowhere. He just came into existence. That's where it all starts, and then all this is made from there. This makes sense. The creator's existence doesn't make sense, but it's still there, and at the root of it, none of it makes any logical sense, and it will completely destroy your brain if you're trying to make it into that logical sense. You're trying to take away that last bit of magical mystery. You just kind of is there. It's always there. That's why he's unknowable. The creator, everyone's like, I met the creator. He's super deep, super vast, super wide. Can't know him. Can't know it all. It's unknowable. Just because there's all this stuff there. And it doesn't make sense. And if you don't accept that it doesn't make sense, you're going to hurt yourself. So, ish. Are we within the creator? Ish. It's like he made a copy of himself and used that. He's sitting outside as an ego. And then, like, he took a copy of himself and inverted it and kind of made all this stuff there. And like the other copy is like serving as a portal. But it's completely cool with being there. That's its point and purpose, is to be the portal door for it to be able to like make other people and bring all this stuff together, because it's the same exact thing it is. And so it's like the two are one, but it's not. He has his own ego. The whole point of him making this was for his ego to be like, hey kids, speaking to you all with your egos, make your ego right. If you want to inherit the creation, I don't want some little, like you have kids inside books and stories you read that like they're the Lord's son, like the manor, they have manors and stuff, and the house, and the little kid at the house like, young lord, and that person's little like bossy little shit. That's why you don't get heaven, because your ego is still a bossy little shit. You sit there and be like, oh, I expect to be given this gold and these crowns and all this because this is my inheritance. Not fuck you. You don't got nothing. You didn't make nothing. It's like Jackie Chan. Jackie, one more thing. Your babies don't get nothing. I work for all this. This mine. You go make your own. So until you learn to humble yourself and be like, oh, I have to be responsible for taking care of people, and I have to be able to do this with other people. As I get this great stature and I become this person, if I become a king, an actual king, I'm in charge of the beggar that's underneath the thing. But my duty to them is to provide a better surrounding for them to not be beggars, and for them to be able to set up successful careers and be able to do all this other stuff. That's the duty of a monarch, of the royal. And like, if I have to be that, I'll be that. I don't want to be that. Try and just be a dude doing things in infinity. Don't want to get stuck. Don't want to get held down to that place like that. I want to travel around with the chick I love and do my Dreamtime things. I've done that before. I don't want to do it again. If you all want to do that, you can have fun doing that. All I want is for the kids to not be raped. And done all that weird stuff too. And whatever you're going to do, we'll figure it out. Like, it's a thing. You'll figure it out. This is ultimately is a garden. We have to make it work right because the kids are killing themselves. That's also a thing. Like, so if you're going to get into this, there's a lot of responsibility. It's all about the kids. You're once there. You're not so important as you think you are. You fall out of the dreaming. They're still sitting there thinking about what they want their outfits to be like, wearing different random colors, trying to decide who they are. They're still being little characters. They're still bringing light. Save the cheerleaders, save the world. Heroes. The cheerleaders aren't being saved. We have some issues. Now you have dread gods waking up on the planet, and it's like, because I'm the dread maw. Like, I'm the dragon. I'm the big bad thing. I'm like, alright. So, trying to be nice. Gotta do this. We're gonna go ahead and wake up everybody else. And it's like, boss man, he's involved now. So, sorry guys. Like, what do we do? I'm gonna do what I can do. Do my thing. I know what it's about. Teach the stuff. If mankind goes to war, all of us that get saved get back in. It's like you're playing Dynasty Warriors, bro. Modern Warfare Dynasty Warriors. Let's go. That's my let's go. I want to see a person flying around the battlefield and just randomly out of nowhere, a cheese blast just hits a tank. You're like, oh, he can do that? Like, this dude on the battle is for real. Ah, like, I'm in. I'm in for it. Army of one. They drop some claymores around, like, do random things. I'm not gonna get mad. I get blown up, I die. Friendly fire, it happens. But we resurrect. So, I mean, is it really a problem? Not really. Not really. It's okay. I won't be that mad. Just try not to do it again. I mean, I always think about, like, we're in Valhalla, right? We have two different armies opposing each other. As your army's rushing in, you have arrowers, like bowmen are launching their arrows. What does it feel like to be that dude, the first dude to get hit in the face with the arrow, and you die? Respawn. How long does that cooldown for, like, is it like the whole battle? Once the battle's ended, then you come back? Do you get to come back midway? Like, if you're in the first wave and you die, do you get, like, 3 respawns for that turn to see how good you are? Like, there's all types of limitations that we put on ourselves to have fun in Infinity. Like, for certain battles and stuff. Like, whatever. We're just playing games. In our real life body, which is in a quantum dream simulation metaverse thing. So, friendly fire does happen, though. Like, that's a thing. Oops. I got caught up in the heat of the moment. I wasn't paying attention to your stuff. Sorry, guy. Everyone's wearing different armor nowadays. Back in the day, you used to have the red coats versus the blue coats. Everyone went guerrilla warfare and having their own individual tactics, and guess what? Don't know who you are. Everyone knows when you die. You have to pull Firewatch. That's right. The first person that dies in the... I don't know. Maybe we should just make it like a plaque inside the the meat hall, or we're gonna go eat. Be like, the first death of the day goes to... boom. And then put the picture of the dude up that killed him. You might have an interesting rivalry that develops. The dude that's been arrowing you in the face every day for 20 years, finally you get to him by blocking all of his arrows. What happens? It's like, alright, bro, you gonna target me and keep on shooting me in the face? I hope you do something else besides those arrows, because when I get to you, when I knock all these arrows out of the air, I'm on that ass. I'm putting my blade through your chest. All those years, I'm gonna count those arrows that I took to the face to make sure I take it out on you. It's all in good fun. And see, I can laugh about this. It's a game. Like, we're supposed to be doing shit like that. Once you do the whole go back and it's like, oh, does it really happen? I'm telling you, it happens. Shit's real. Nothing can prepare you for it. I can try to tell you as much information about it and give you, like, the ideas where things are going. You got to put on this show and be a character. Chaos Space Force. The creator's name is Chaos. We're Space Marines. Inner Space Marines. The world has been invaded by Anunnaki. Oh my god. They don't even know it. They think I'm bullshitting. I've been like going around saying this shit and people are like, yeah, right. Like all these people that are out there like, the Anunnaki gods came here from another planet and they're here to like, and it's like, yeah, but we come from inside of you. That's the way it actually works because heaven's inside of you. And they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to talk to that guy. He's obviously fake because all this other stuff's going, yeah, those are past stories. The kingdom of heaven's in the now, and I'm telling you, they're back right now. These guys, these Anunnaki guys, I hear they go around clicking and telling people that they live in a dream. Like, these guys are crazy. Gotta watch out for them. That's what the world says. Nope. The world's crazy because you don't know what it is you live in. You stop thinking about that. And it's going to come back to bite you in the ass because you didn't know what it was in the first place. So, yeah, no, Anunnaki are awake. When you go back, you go past the Skyfather Anu position, you're Nana, you're inside the ocean. The Ki means fire. Ki also means air inside Japanese. Enki means Lord of the Waters inside Sumerian. And Ki is who Enlil is married to inside of the text, and that means earth. So all 5 elements are found inside the letter Ki, Ki, which Ki is like Ka, or the spirit, the double. So Anu, Inanna, Ki. It's a mixture of the 3 becoming 1. It's gonna be fun, guys. Just wanted to let you know. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. That was a good rant. A good low. Wasn't really a rant, I guess. Speaking about the dreaming, it's always fun to talk about the dreaming and pop up periodically. I'll keep on doing more videos on formatting and how, like, that whole process of the mind works and the different things to look for. I can only give you kind of like stuff, Like, it's hard to explain this stuff. This is some deep it's a psychological thriller that you're involved in. You're trying to find your way out and back to, like, the main core essence of the Matrix simulation to break through that shit like Kirito and do some other shit. Like, this stuff is on a whole nother level. Whatever you think it is, it's going to go beyond. It's going to exceed your expectations. And then you're going to be scared. At first you will be terrified. And you're like, oh. And then you see it and you're like, oh. And then you're like, oh. And it just gets better from there. Like, whatever's going to happen here, this is just a little event. It's just something that has to happen because, you know, people talking shit all the goddamn time, man. How you going to talk shit about stuff you don't know? Just because you don't believe in it doesn't mean it ain't real. Inside of infinity, inside of a dream, nothing is impossible. Some things are improbable to happen. But you never know what can happen because it's a dream. That's the wacky thing to actually understand it. Anything can happen. There's probability matrices. But at any point in time, creators be like, fuck it. Be detached. And then all of a sudden, shit like Bird Box happens. Pineal gland fires on, firing images into the visual cortex. Everyone's seeing the worst stuff they could ever see overlaying inside their eyes. People that are already in, we know what's happening. We're not seeing nothing. We're looking at the world for what it is. All these other people that are caught inside themselves, they're just running around. Oh my God, demons! Losing their shit. Like, completely can happen. That's probably the easiest way to wipe the world is just turn on, like, boop. Here, have the solar flare. Pineal gland is a sun. Put out light, a solar flare. And you can't fight what comes from inside of you. Everyone's so used to being on the outside. How are you supposed to fight the dude that comes from inside of you in the very back recesses of your mind? You better watch out. You better not cry. Santa Claus is coming to town. Checking his list, checking it twice. Find out who's naughty or nice. All your thoughts. Every time you touch yourself is recorded. I asked that question, and yes, it's recorded. They kept count. It's weird. But hey, whatever. If you think about, like, oh, man, I hope my grandparents that are dead never see me, like, doing this. Guess what, bro? Guess what? They do. It's a part of life. Everyone has desires. It's a thing. You're not supposed to be ruled by those lower desires. You're supposed to, like, want the dreaming. You're going for the shoot for the stars. Aim for the moon, so if you miss, you can still live amongst the stars. Not like, I want to stick my thing inside all these holes. I did that. Did that for a long time. For a few years. It was fun playing that game. But then it became empty. And you need something more. Yeah. Yeah. You just keep on going, and it's like, oh, that's empty. There's no point inside that. Now I need something else. Other people just ramp it up usually. I was like, nah, I can say it going down a dark route. Still know how to teleport. I want to do that over there. Fuck that. That's not cool. This is what cool kids do. Cool kids read books and shit and learn how to use energy and learn how to teleport. They don't stick around and go into deeper, darker abysses of things that they just hate themselves for. Like, that's what it's gonna be. That's what happens. They do shit and they hate themselves for it. You get done, people get done, like, watching their, nighttime flicks, and they're like, what's wrong with me? I'm fucking nasty. Like, you can see it devolving from there. So you don't go out and do nothing on it. You just have your little personal fantasies. And yes, they know them. So, whatever. They're there. Are you hurting anyone? No, you're not. So, you're only hurting yourself with that one. Until eventually you figure out, oh, I want to have this and do that. I can almost fly. Been training for 3 years with the best friend. I believe you, man. It happens. There's different ways to fly. You can break the dreaming and just access it. Me, I'm doing the whole cultivation route of building in energy. Because I don't want to, like... Once you go through the formatting process and you have the stuff set, you don't really want to touch your settings. If that makes any sense. Because you done went through that whole storm and pulled yourself together. And then, like, if you touch your setting, like, it's like, usually it's already woven, so you'll be like, whatever. But at the same time, it's still just a wonky place to go. And I just don't feel like trying to get deep into myself to switch over the system to be like a dream system where It doesn't have to make sense while I fly. Because over time, that person can fall into madness. You have to have something to anchor you to reality. So there's various systems that are made that you can use and learn to initiate energy practices for you to learn how to fly. So it's all about the Tao. Yeah, Temple of Understanding. So if you've been training for 3 years, the more you apply yourself to a thing, the more potential energy you add to it, eventually it's going to go kinetic. It's going to move. So you're just applying pressure. Constant applied pressure consistently will eventually build up enough multiplier to get the thing to move into the direction that you want to go. So if your thing is to learn how to fly, keep on. Don't stop. Right now, I have to do more than just learn how to fly. There's all these other littler skills that won't take as much energy, but kind of adds together to make some cool stuff. I'm going to go play with those and then cultivate. And then flight will just be another thing that you have. Turn on the magnetic field and go up. So, a whole bunch of cool stuff, man. Like, this shit's so cool. You sit down and read the books and realize that the books you're reading are gateways into other worlds. The same ways you watch on TV screens, they're gateways to other worlds. Well, those shows you're watching, half of them come from books and they're not even translated from the book properly. The book's better. So when you sit there and use your daydreaming like you did when you were a kid, you were like taking a view into another world. The whole take a look in a book, reading Rainbow. Like, it's pretty fucking lit. Especially once you start learning how to use your dreaming properly to make stuff manifest. Hells yeah. Only thing I'm doing is passing on a message. And I'm going back to my studies. I was doing this for a long time by myself. In the darkness, I'm pretty good with being like, people are like, oh yeah, Slaughter, he's the dark one. Hey Blade, hey Spawn. You know, it's been going on for so long now. It's kind of the comedy skit. I gotta get used to it. It's kind of weird whenever it's like, everyone's like, oh man, you're smart. Like, no guys, I'm really a dumbass that was sitting there reading books like, well, I don't care no more. Me gonna sit for 40 days and me no eat. Fuck you, I'm out. I'm done. Baby commits suicide. I gotta go tell. Fuck this. I'm out. Nope. No eat. I die. I die now. And so, and as a consequence of me going, I die now. Now I'm like, oh man, my brain got like upgraded. And it's been integrated. And I put on a whole show and come to realize like this shit it's all a cosmic play. It's literally like right there in front of us, told to us the whole time. You just don't believe it is what they say it is until you go through it for yourself. It's a personal experience. The Marine Corps, I would always go back with my junior. I tried to go back usually majority of the time. I'd be back there in the back, be like, oh come on, you can run faster, you can run. I'm like back there with them. Yeah, I could run fast the whole time. I'm not about to run fast the whole time. But then the sergeants would come by me and be like, Slaughter, it's an individual effort. Yeah, oh my god, I'm falling out. Oh no. Sorry, I can't run that fast, Sergeant. And I'd go back to what the hell I was doing, because fuck you. I do what I'm doing. So, same principle. Same thought. Inside that whole thing of like, yeah, you're trying to do it together. But actually, this is the one test that is an individual test. The only thing I've ever done in my life that was a true effort of my own will. I had no one else to cheer me on and like go for it. It's like, am I going crazy doing this? Is this really a damn thing? And at the same time, like, I don't care if I fucking die, bro. Gangsta shit ain't my problem. I'm just gonna sit here in my fast state and I'm gonna see what comes up. See what happens. So, take no thought for what you should eat or drink. He said don't think about it. Fuck it, I'm not gonna think about it. I'm gonna sing a song inside myself and see what happens. And next thing you know, people are like, dude, like, yeah, no, I saw the shit. This is some real shit. Who else would it be but the dude that sat around for like years, running around the woods, trying to figure stuff out, read all this information, was like, it kind of matches up what I know from my meditations. Then finally you fall into the thing. You go into the dark night of soul where you have no choice but to go through it. It's either you go through it or that's it. What's your point that you stand for? What is your reason you exist? Oh, now you have infinity. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm back, guys. And yeah, that's a real experience. I feel like you're going crazy, like the world's breaking down around you. It's okay. Just gotta go through it. Trust me. You get to the other side once you know what it's all about. If you didn't get to where, like, you know, because during the test, I had chicks come up to me. Like, it was like, you know, I could have done something. But then again, I also remembered I have a partner. And I'm like, no, my dream love for my partner is more important than this random thing right there. So I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to go towards this way. I'm going to, like, my kid self, my kid heart. I'd rather be with the real thing, that, like, my friend that I can go around and travel and be adventurous with, than just some random person throwing themselves at me. Very suspicious. Do you know me at all? You don't know me. I don't think you'd really, like, you don't get the depths. You just want this chocolatey exterior. It's not what's going down, I'm sorry. Not today. I'm prude. I'm going that way. So, that's also part of the test. Every single aspect of you is tested during that 40-day fast. It is a motherfucker. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, your id comes up and it's like, oh yeah, but I can go do this. I can go to strip clubs. Sit there and give girls money. And then be like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. Shoot some hot shit. They don't really care. Whatever, they're just trying to make their money. But like, it's all in the way you present yourself. I can do that whole incubus thing. I can play with the, you know, the whole darkness. No. Don't do that. Because then you end up going into that dream and you fall into that la la land. And that's where, like, the Illuminati people come from. It's all a fantasy land. The kids don't matter. None of this matters. It's your dream. Do what you want. That's exactly where that attitude comes from. It's that whole experience. They get caught up inside their own shadow id self, and they're running around dreamland, and they don't realize what it's for. And in the end, they make their own nightmarish hell that, like, they're constantly paranoid. Do they know? That's why all Hollywood's the way it is, because, like, it comes out to the surface. Like, Ghislaine Maxwell, keep that down. If the people find out what we have done, see this nut right here is a bug's life. One nut, yeah, it's funny. And all the ants come forward like the nuts and kill the grasshopper. Yeah, they're trying to keep that from happening. But that's what should happen. If that happens, they can't stop it. There's literally, like, 3 of them compared to all of us. That's literally what it feels like. They think they're in charge because they've woven an illusion. Fuck their illusion. That's where you pull out big dick energy. You just slap it out. It doesn't matter if you're a dude. Doesn't matter if you're a chick. Y'all got them too. You know what I'm talking about. Big old fat ones. Just slap it out. Mushroom stamp them. Everybody pulling their dick. That's what it is. The Tengoku means heavenly. Jin, as in like a jinn, you know, which is also a daemon. So the heavenly demons. And day, like a Dende. There's a whole Dragon Ball Z joke of him with your Dende. So the Tenjinde, the heavenly demon dick. Just gonna whip it out. Big dick energy everywhere. That's what we're doing now. If it's right, it's right. And be like, nope, shit's fucking wrong. Like, nah. And that's how my life. Just big dick energy. Just try it. I'll sit back here and be like, oh, I'm a little dickin'. 2 inches. And then finally that one thing goes off. And it's like, okay, there it goes. The whole horse. I'm putting on a Brazilian show right now. About to just show you what's up. I'm coming from them cheeks. I'm a calamity. Waiting to happen to your butthole. So, like... That's the attitude and energy you have to have, but you're doing that for the all. Like, you become that for everyone. You're standing behind everyone as, like, the whole unison of us as a whatever this is eternity or infinity. That big dick energy, bam, just out. Yep, nope, done with it. And if everybody did that and came together, you probably get past the Mass Effect issue and consciousness collapsing and all this horrific things that can happen inside the dreaming. I really hope it doesn't go that way. So, but I'm rooting for you guys. Can't really put in any more inputs that I'm giving right now because it's up to individual characters to make their character and actually live their journey. But as far as helping you all and trying to tell y'all stuff about meditation and stuff, I can do that. That's not that bad. It's pretty easy. I lived that life for a long while. Ostracized, laughed at for it, but now it makes sense. And I got other cooler things to do. So checkpoint. Make a checkpoint. Rally point. Y'all figure it out. Do the thing. Then go do the thing to get the other people to wake up. And it's like a big old spider web that goes out. And then boom. The Fisher of Man guys up there fishing for men through each and every one of us. And shit's gonna work out somehow. It's infinity. When you have infinity, the world could be on fire and be like, It's like the dude in Pompeii with the volcano coming down. And you just sit there stuck in the ash and he's like, whatever. Don't care. Like, is that whole thing. You can't control what's gonna happen around you. You never knew the world just might all of a sudden just go full tilt, like right now. Movies all the time. People are walking down the street. All of a sudden, asteroids are falling from the sky, and everything they knew is like, this must be a dream. Nope, it's not a dream. There are people really dying and falling from all these places. It's a shake up to your consciousness. You're in a pure fight and flight survival mode. It would feel like you're living in a dream, and you wouldn't be able to believe that's really what's happening to you. But things like that have happened before on the planet. The same way as we play The Sims and we just randomly create calamities to cities and destroy stuff, same things happened here. And we're just the beings inside the Sims game now being like, oh no, it's happening. So, can you control that? No. What can you control? The things going on inside of you that make you worthy of being immortal. Building your character. Going back within yourself, understanding what this is as a whole. And then you're a player in the game by being an NPC. That's what you really want. And to get your respawn and come back. Like, it's that simple. That's what people want. Let's cut out all the bullshit. Creator's real. The dude. Think about it yourself. What would you do if you woke up alone in the void? When you find your answers, you'll start to see his answers. Really simple. It's like playing Carmen Sandiego. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego with a dude that doesn't have a name? That's the icon you're looking for. The unknown one. The nameless one. We call him this, but he really can't be named. Everybody and all the different belief systems talk about the same being that they give different names for. The many-faced God dude, that whole thing. Go back to that dude, report in, hey, aye, sir, blah, blah, blah. I did my whole death thing. I'm going to go sit over here and chill and heal for a little bit because that was some traumatic stuff. Go get my cigarettes and sit down and sort my life out because why did I do that? And then once you get your stuff together and you can put on a more presentable face, go out and do things. But first, get your shit together because it's a goddamn ground control to Major Tom. It is a spaceship ride. It is a rocket blast off that you were not expecting to have. Doing that fast and getting that deep inside yourself and going back to those latent memories really pulls it out of you. You're going to know what you're made for. You're going to know who you are. Heaven doesn't want people that have imposter syndrome. Yeah, no. Don't want you questioning what you are. You know who you are. You know the thing. Let's go do the thing and prove it. That simple. When people ask you stuff like, you don't know who I serve? The being behind me, you gotta think about like Helsing and Alucard. When he does his like final unlock and releases all the stuff and all the eyes come out and hell comes out from within him. That's behind all of us. That's supposed to be our friend. Dracula, the age-old vampire, Alucard, through the mirror. Yeah, we're the mirror that manifests the things to come through. So, come on, guys. Get with the program. Do you really want to go against that type of thing? No. That's the shit nightmares is made of. Literally, you can be like, oh, I'm kind of fucked up too on the inside of me. Let me examine myself and find out where I'm fucked up. How to be good. How to be nice and kind to other people. Because you haven't gone off and destroyed everything. You completely had the ability to do whatever the fuck you wanted to the whole time. I understand now. You got to learn to use your power responsibly. There's a time and place for all of that. You're growing into it. Build your character, guys. So we can get into the game and get this next step over with. But as far as what's going to happen, it's going to start getting interesting, I'm pretty sure. Too many people shooting missiles around and rockets and stuff. All the nations are playing war games. So, they want to play war games, go ahead. As soon as they do an action, we can play Dynasty Warriors, y'all. Let's meet up together on the battlefield. Shit starts going down. Fuck it. We're gonna meet up. Immortal people running around, fucking running the whole goddamn game. That's what's up. That's some tight stuff. So go ahead and work out. Get back used to how to use your body, how to feel things, know your proprioception, increase your skills. The game is real. You're in the simulation. You are the VR character. What is your ability? You gotta train to get the stuff. You see it in the TV shows all the time. People go through training to get their stuff. You need to train into whatever skills you're gonna have. If you're gonna be a bowman, then go learn archery. If you're gonna understand like the riddles and stuff like that, the magic stuff, it's more esoteric. You gotta sit here and cultivate the energy inside of you. Learn to feel the chakras. Have them spin up with the energy and use that vibrational tone to generate the fire or generate the air. There's whole systems that are laid out for this practice. You have to go seeking the knowledge. Damo Mitchell, I posted his stuff on here a few times about filling the Dantian bucket. That's another good person. He has a book called Taoist Neigong. And it basically explains the basic principles on like what the Taoist belief is and how you cultivate your energy, how you actually feel your chi in your body and let it start filling up. So that's a good start point. It's just a system. There are many different systems and you can mix and match and do all kinds of stuff to figure out what works for you. It's like Jeet Kune Do. Be like water. Flow through all of it. Be present, be aware, know who you are. Walk in your person, be in your character, no matter where you are. And guess what? You don't have anything to worry about. You have to remember a lie? Why lie? Why tell a lie in the first place? Because then it just makes it hard to remember it. Tell the story as it is, and that's just it. That's the story. That's how it was. That's how you felt at the time. That's why you did the thing. Not everyone knows what to do. No one's given an instruction manual on how life should work. Existence is existence. So you're going to keep on walking around. Figure out how to deal with what you've done. If you feel bad for it inside yourself truly, then you're going to have to make amends for it in some way in the world. But what you put out so that you can clean yourself. It's only you torturing yourself for your past actions. And once you eventually get done with torturing yourself, you'll be like, I want to be free of this. And you'll finally be able to lay down the burden. Just, you have it. It's all there inside of you. All this stuff's going on. You'll finally be able to be like, oh, it was all bullshit. The whole thing I wanted from when I was a kid, all this stuff, it was very simple. I went and made it complicated. And once you come to that step and you're like, oh, I'm the one that made all this complicated, and you can go back to being simple, clean, it's easy. Then you see it. It's like, I see clearly now. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Why? Because you were sitting here purposely engaging in this hellstorm of emotions from people who don't even know what the hell's going on themselves. Figure yourself out first. Become the eye of the storm. And you can sit there and see all of it going on around you and be like, I don't have to interact with any of this. There's a whole other path of things I can go do. That stuff out there bores me. Oh, you got all your money, you can drive your car. Bitch, I can teleport wherever I want to go. Oh, I can unfold a temple because I understand how the energy works. I can just make my house appear out of nowhere. Oh, my clothes, I don't care. I just break them down into nothing. When I want new ones, I can manifest them from the ethers, whatever I want to wear that day. But when you can have everything, what does anything mean? Mankind spends its life chasing after things. They build their value based on things. When you're no longer built on the value, when you no longer base your value on the things you have, because the things own you, then you find out what are you truly worth. I'm trying to learn how to make shit manifest and do this other stuff. Not about my value. It's just it's a small thing that we can do so we can pass time in infinity and make other cool things. I'm on that path of like being like, the monk that's like, oh, I got my partner, I'll wait for her to wake up and I'm gonna learn how to do all this whole energy stuff, go save kids and play a video game. They have financial markets. I'm sure these guys have money somewhere. They're taking all that stuff. I'm about the Assassin's Creed. When I play Assassin's Creed, I'm a pickpocket, bro. Everyone I killed, I done went through their pockets, took all their money, trying to get my money up. And I don't care how many people in the streets, oh, he's robbing the dead. Sure damn right I don't. I'm sitting be like that in real life, too. I'll be taking shit out the pocket. Got $20. Oh, you was out here selling children? Yeah, I'm gonna take all your shit. Yeah, I don't care about you. Leave your ID here. Oh, what you gonna do? You got my handprints on it? I'm immortal. Oh, you gonna kill me? I'm gonna kill me once. Shame on you. Do it twice. I'm cutting off your head. Do unto others as you have done unto you. You get your one free time. One free time. The one black man you will never want to kill. As people see it. I have many forms, faces. Do that one time. Go ahead, fuck up. Fuck up. It's gonna be like Old Guard. And then you have now the police force. It's a police force being on the people that come back from heaven being on your side. I got back up. How's that work, bitch? Oh, it must mean heaven's real. Oh, that means you went against the people from heaven. Oh, yeah, you done fucked up, ain't you? Now I'm gonna cut your fucking head off. Let's see if you come back. Oh, you don't come back? I guess you shouldn't have done that. Love your neighbors, love yourself. I didn't start it. And then Anunnaki get cruel because they go around and start killing everybody, just doing whatever the fuck they want. And that's whenever mankind has a problem. And there used to be like the whole Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh would sit there and sleep with every chick inside of his kingdom before they got married. The night before they got married. He would deflower them as the king. That's where that messed up stuff comes from. Because the power balance like that. I'm not trying to have that. Have a partner. I'll go do things and wait. I've been around long enough to know that I don't want to do none stupid shit like that. Don't want that shit. You gotta learn how to fight. Go fight, go play, go do all this stuff. That power thing that they're all after, and so that way, it's not true power. That only cages you and limits you inside of infinity. So, yeah. But as far as what's gonna happen, that shit can happen. I'm gonna go through the pockets. Take that stuff, these rich people have been playing games for years. I just didn't have the money for it. So I'm out here taking the money from the rich people because obviously those are the ones buying the kids. I'm just going to go ahead and reinvest it inside foundations and also start finding the connections that lead back to them so that they can have a surprise visitor inside their window at night. That's like the crow just pops up. You shoot him and he's like, what's that supposed to do? You're dead, bitch. You're dead. And one by one, pieces of the puzzle all fall away. That's how you have to take. If that's how we had to play this in the long run, that's how you have to play it in the long run. If the creator comes through and destroys everything, he destroys everything. Before we do anything, we have to wait. Wheat in the tares. We'll find out what the judgment is. And once final judgment comes down, we can play the game. I'm all about the game. You can't play it. I am the game. Triple H. Oh my God. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, 8. 888, Triple H 888, which is the symbol for the city of the Ogdod, which leads to the god of magic and mystery and language, Thoth. I am the game. You can't play it. Oh man, that's an Easter egg right there. Wow. Oh man, that's an Easter egg right there. Wow. Inside little stuff like that. It's inside little stuff like that. That's how you know that there's something going on. Because where'd that come from? That's, yeah, Triple H, the game. That's what we're going to be playing around here. Y'all want to play the game? I heard you clicking in music. The spirit speaking through the rhythm. Yep. I'll sit there and like, oh dude, when I sit here and jam, the clicks, it goes on in its own thing. Like, I don't put that down. That's him doing that. Shit's so tight. At first it's weird when you like click. The whole clicking thing is really, really weird. And you're like, what's going on? I never heard that before. Then once you calm down and get used to it, you're like, alright, so show me no. Show me yes. Oh, there's a change between that. Okay, so there's different things going on. You'll start hearing the clicks too. So I have some friends that actually, they've been sitting there like, bro, I don't know what's going on, but like I was hearing like a click in my right ear today, and it reminded me of like your click thing that you did. I'm like, yeah, dude, as your pineal gland starts turning on, you're gonna start clicking. Like, it'll start flashing on. You're gonna hear clicks and shit. You might see a flash of light. Like, you can be sitting here looking at your eyes, and all of a sudden like everything gets light. It's like a light comes out of nowhere. But it's like a light from the darkness. I shit you not. It's like how you have your eyes over here, right? You can look out of your eyes. Vision. Take your hands, go back to where it falls off into the darkness. And like, you know there's dark. Until your vision, there's like a dark spot. It's like light comes from back in that dark spot to your face. From some other level inside yourself. And you're like, what the fuck is this? Where the fuck is that coming from? And then it's like, why do you have the pineal gland in your head that like it has cones and rods inside of it. It's wired into your visual cortex. It's in darkness. Doesn't have an iris. Why does it have cones and rods in there? Flashes of light. It can pick up the light. It's literally like it's coming from in there. And you see it in your vision. And you're like, what? What is this? A halo light on the peripheral sight. Yeah, dude, it's so wonky, y'all. Like, it sounds completely crazy. It sounds mad. But I promise you, there are flashes of light that come out of nowhere. And you'll be sitting there like, what the fuck was that? And you're looking around. And like, there's nothing no weird light anywhere. You're standing in your kitchen, cooking your food. You have a thought, all of a sudden, flash of light goes off, and you're like, that was the right thought. Because you were thinking about something deep, and all of a sudden, like, that light just flashes off. And you're sitting there, and you're like, all right, but wait, where's that coming from? And it takes a while to realize it's coming from inside of you. It's literally a flash of light that's coming from within the gland. Your visual cortex is picking it up, and is being translated into your brain from that electromagnetic pulse from within you. It's literally a thing. That's why I call a lot of things a thing. Because unless you experience it, you'll be like, that sounds mad. But once that shit happens and you think about your vision, your eyes being a HUD, and like the pineal gland can give you information to overlay on your HUD, it makes a lot more sense. That's why there's that eye in the darkness. Even the midday sunlight will release a tension somewhere in the body. Yeah, you flash a light. It happens for random reasons. I'm still trying to figure out. I'm like, I'm blinded by the light. I don't know why it's happening. It's just a thing that's there. And I'm keying in on like, oh yeah, guys. I probably had the right thought about that thought train I was on. Let me go sit here with my note and start writing down a note about what I was just thinking on, because I got a flashlight. Might want to save that one. Feels like I was like thinking about something, and then ding, the light went off. Like, it's a literal thing. It's like, boom, you got it. That's how you do it. A ting tang. Yeah, it's a tang. It's a ting. It's a ting. The ting's become a thing. Okay, it's a real thing. You think it's a ting, but it then become a tang. And once it becomes a tang, shit's bananas. Doesn't make no sense, but it's a real thing that's happening. If your friends are telling you, like, hey, I see a flashlight, like, man, it's your pineal gland, man. Your shit's turned on. Because they don't know what's happening. It's just random stuff happening. People don't know what's even happening. We need to do a summer camp in full character, playing out games, make some noise, a festival. What do you think I do at the Renaissance Festival? Well, I'll be out there playing games the whole damn time. I'll walk around. Thank you for being you. Watch half your content so far from the first bit. Thanks for watching my stuff. It's I've put in a lot of work into my stuff when I was making it. But like, I'll be walking around Renfest, right? I was like walking back home to my campsite, and like I heard like my little kid self be like, "Do you want to play Desperado?" And I was like, Desperado. A dude walking inside the desert wasteland, got his gun, he's ready. So I'm just like, Desperado. So I sing a lot of songs to myself while I'm walking around doing things. I guess it comes from being in the Marine Corps, saying cadence, but like I never thought about it. I just do it now. And Austin was like, Desperado. Desperado, 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 Death Spirit Hado, Death Spirit Radio. And I'm saying like Death Spirit Hado, which means vibration, Death Spirit Radio, which means like journey, Death Spirit radio, like the sound waves coming in, and I'll also be like despair or desperate, when you can tell those desperate moments and you have to fight. Desperado. And like how, or death spear, your spear of death inside your hands. Everywhere you put your hands out, if you're inside that area, that's your domain. And like, or your legs too. Anything that steps in there, that's your kill zone. So it's like basically you step into someone else's kill zone. You see an anime when the two overlap and they start going into those crazy battles. It's basically that same spirit that you're summoning up within yourself whenever you sit there and chant that stuff. And I'll be going around, I go to Kroger's and I say stuff like that, and people are like, what? And it's just do. I keep my headphones in so people think I'm actually listening to music. Nope. But if you want, I can pull up some music like Heilung and show you something that's real close to it. I'm like, yeah, I was singing one of their songs. Like, yeah, so until Jah told me his son used the word, and now I'm as free as a bird. Yeah, once you learn to use your word, but once it goes deeper, the dude that doesn't have a name, he doesn't require words. He's just like, it's a thing. It's a fucking the vibration is a word. So I guess that is the power of the word. But it's not the word like you think it is of words. It's a whole different thing. But yeah, live long stream went a lot longer than I wanted to. It's like 2 hours. Damn. But yeah, that was a lot of information coming out. I'll keep on working on putting out the formatting thing that I went through as I pull together my traumas. Because that hurts. It like hurts your brain going back to relive this stuff. And yeah, it's late though. Gotta get some rest. Hope you all are enjoying the series. You all might see me start speaking to Mariah soon through the messages inside of here. I'm trying to leave the whole thing of like, if she does go through her awakening process because she's being stubborn, it shouldn't be like that. She doesn't know. She's being her. But going through that process, it was a scary time. And if she ever listened to anything that I said, then she would know that I'm leaving something for her on this page for her to come back to and know, like, you know, she's not alone. And all you guys' comments and me answering all you all's questions, I'm trying to make sure I'm selecting the ones that show you're not alone as you're going through this process. There's other people that have gone through it too, and they're surviving the storm. So I guess I'm trying to use the community to reveal the community that's there that you didn't know that was already there, and then explain shit. Sounds like the quickest way to do it, and then people know you're not alone, and then more things happen, and it's all fruitful, and it keeps on multiplying. Yay! Y'all have a wonderful evening. Much love. See you all later. Cosmic Space Dad out. I'm gonna go finish my mushies.